It's currently age 737 and Goku was born on planet Vegeta. His father, Bardock, checked his ki and couldn't sense it whatsoever. He wondered how he wasn't dead, because he clearly showed signs that he indeed does have a power level. Either way, after some careful examination and testing, he was gauged at a power level of 5 or thereabouts. Considering that, Bardock was sent on a mission, and once he arrived, everything seemed odd about Frieza calling every Saiyan back on the planet. He had a feeling something was up, and so Bardock and Gine sent Goku off to Earth, a low power planet very suitable for a Saiyan of his son's age. So, with a heavy heart, they sent Goku away to Earth. On Earth, Goku crashed and started wandering around and crying his eyes out until Grandpa Gohan found him out of nowhere and adopted him, seeing the pod and thinking he could be from outer space. He named him Goku and nursed him, despite Goku's violent Saiyan nature. One day, Goku fell out from behind Gohan's back and straight on his head. Gohan got home and took care of him to the best of his ability, thinking Goku is just a regular baby. However, it was a mistake on his end, because Goku had a power level and he healed quite fast miraculously, making Gohan wonder what went up and deciding to train the young kid. However, after training him for 1 month, a truly bad thing happened. Gohan was awoken by what he thought was an earthquake, but it was something much worse. Goku's first transformation into Uzaru. He knew it was bad and hid from it, but Goku was already more powerful than his canon counterpart due to the training he received from Gohan, so he killed off his grandpa much sooner. However, he went back to normal after a bright flash of light cut his tail down, so Goku was tailless. In the morning, Goku woke up to see nothing but a pile of rubble where his house used to be. So he began roaming the woods to find something to eat. After roaming for quite some time, he found a weird path. What he found was a road and it led straight to West City. Following that path, he encountered a decently sized house, much bigger than his grandpa's house, and he went there to enter it. When he did, he was greeted with some unfamiliar and confused faces.
Hi, my name's Goku. I came from the woods. I'm lost and I don't know what this is. My house got destroyed. I don't know where my grandpa is.
The couple whose house he entered are kind of confused and suspicious. They sit him down and Goku begins explaining the whole story.
So a few days ago, I was sleeping, and while I was sleeping, there was, I think, a earthquake. It took away my home and my grandpa with it, and I managed to find my way here. I don't know what this place is.
You entered the outskirts of a city called West City. What's your name?
My name is Goku.
Goku? A bit on the weird side, but okay. Would you like to stay at our place? We have someone your age if you'd like to play.
Okay, thank you.
With it, the couple we now know as Toshiro and Akari took Goku in and adopted him as their own son. After quite some time, quite a bit has changed as well. Goku is now taking taekwondo lessons and soloing everyone during his training. In his spare time, he is training on his own by shadow training and developing his own martial arts style. His adoptive parents are quite proud of him that he became what he is and asked him if he'd like to join the Tenkaichi Budokai, a tournament where only the most powerful participate. Goku, seeing he could use a good fight, he accepts to join the tournament, and so he trains for the tournament. 5 weeks later, the tournament begins and Goku is ready to go and participate in the tournament. At the tournament grounds, he meets a lot of new people aside from his fighting buddies, school colleagues, and other neighborhood kids. He meets Tien, Yamcha, and Master Roshi. He sees that they're not to be messed with, so he trains some more before the fight, and that's where Master Roshi, who's disguised as Jackie Chun, tells him not to waste his energy on training now, as he will need it later in the fights. Goku sees the point and tries to meditate his way to the start of the tournament. The tournament has begun and the first to fight is Krillin and Bacterian. The fight goes almost the same, the only difference is that Goku doesn't tell him he has no nose, but Yamcha. Jackie Chun and Yamcha start the battle and that goes on pretty much the same. Nam and Ramfan also goes the same as in canon. Now Goku and Giran is Goku's first fight, and he's very excited to finally fight someone tougher than his friends over at the dojo. The fight begins with hand-to-hand combat. The two are mainly even until Goku attempts to throw Giran out of the ring. Goku barely does it, however, being capable of flight, Giran is able to return to the ring. Giran uses his merry-go-round gum to bind Goku, then punches him and tries to finish the fight by throwing him out of bounds. Goku, having no way to get himself back, breathes in a load of air and blows at the ground, piloting himself back into the ring. Goku is then saved by the appearance of his regrown tail that grabs onto Giran's arm at the moment of impact. Goku manages to break free from the gum thanks to his newfound strength, then tests it out on one of the arena walls just like in the original, pretty much destroying it. Seeing this terrifying feat, Giran raises a white flag, conceding to Goku. Goku is weirded out, but finally had the joy he needed and continued on with the tournament. Roshi sees the talent in the young boy and has an idea for the end of the tournament. Goku, however, is weirded out by his tail. He doesn't remember having a tail, but still continues on with the tournament, wanting to worry about it later. Krillin and Jackie Chun begin fighting, and that goes the same as in the original. Goku and Nam then begin the fight, and they seem to be fairly evenly matched, with Nam's discipline helping him keep up with Goku's strength. But when Goku winds up too dizzy to stand after spinning using his tornado attack, which he was training to achieve just for the tournament, Nam sees an opening. He takes up to the sky and uses the full force of his body to land a deadly cross-arm dive right on Goku's neck. Goku is knocked out by the move. Nam then asks the announcer to start the count. Goku, meanwhile, is still on the ground unconscious. The ref doesn't start the count for another good 12 to 15 seconds, though Nam claims that no man can awake sooner than 10 days after that strike, and that was partly true. Nam won the match, but Goku came right back up after about 30 seconds. Nam was speechless, the announcer was speechless, and Goku's family was speechless. And with it, the last fight of the tournament commenced, and that was Nam versus Jackie Chun. That went pretty eventless. Nam used the cross-arm dive on Chun, but he dodged it and caused more damage to Nam. Chun simply carried him out of the ring for an easy win. Roshi won and everyone celebrated. However, Roshi came up to Goku and asked him if he'd like to train with him. Goku asked his parents and they agreed, so he agreed as well. Then Master Roshi came over to Nam and gave him a shitload of water so he can feed his village. At Kame House, the second they arrived, Roshi noticed the Dragon Ball he used to have gotten stolen. He didn't really seem to care. However, he gave Goku and Krillin a task of finding the thief. Goku says he can smell something more of a female scent, so he begins following it to the mainland, where he runs in the direction of the smell. Krillin is given a Nimbus Cloud, but since he cannot really ride it, they wait up on Goku. Meanwhile, Goku has found a car and is investigating it. In the car, he finds a bag containing not only a Dragon Ball he was supposed to find, but also the Dragon Ball his grandpa used to have in his possession. He takes the 2 Dragon Balls and prepares to return, but before he could, he hears a blood-curdling scream of a girl. So, he rushes in to whoever needs aid. Goku goes behind the rock and finds a girl about to get kidnapped by men with guns. Goku reacts quickly with a swift motion, followed by an uppercut on the first man's head, and he tackled the other guy, kicking him in the gut before taking the girl away. Goku then starts a conversation.
Your son got me here. You're the one that stole the Dragon Balls, weren't you?
So, what if I was?
Because you were, they are now with me. And either tell me why you stole them, or you're coming with me, and my teacher will do it for me.
Fine, I'm coming along.
Who we now know as Bulma, doesn't know that Goku was the good cop, and she's about to get bullied into showing pants to the bad cop, that being Roshi. So with the intention of getting both the Dragon Balls Goku has rightfully taken, Bulma goes with Goku to Kame House and meets Krillin and Master Roshi. Bulma is immediately confused as to what's going on, but Roshi explains that the two are here for training. Roshi, getting horny as well, asks Bulma if she'd like to train. Of course, not implying on physical training in that kind of sense. Bulma, seeing some benefits from what Goku displayed, actually agreed to get trained, as she's on summer vacation and has nothing better to do. Although her main objective is a wish from Shenron. She actually wants to fend for herself in order to find all the Dragon Balls and not get in a tough situation like a few hours ago. Goku, Krillin, and Bulma then decide to be sparring buddies and train together. Goku and Bulma are set on the field plowing and wearing turtle shells, while Krillin is on a mission to go out and train in the wild, which will benefit him with two things: survive in the wild and also toughen him up for the next Tenkaichi Budokai. Goku and Bulma have been training, with Bulma taking some shortcuts. Roshi caught on and discussed with her with the option of bedtime sparring to skip the lesson, so she's all well caught up. Goku has been training up with Bulma, but also trained on his own just like Krillin as to not be left in the dust. Bulma also trained on her own, despite her being out of league of both Goku and Krillin, but she got pretty strong. She also completely forgot about her main motive to train, and so she caught on to the idea of participating in the next Tenkaichi Budokai. Yamcha also joined the gang because he wanted to get rid of his problems with women, and he began working, even being comfortable enough to train alongside Bulma and eventually with her as well. The time for the tournament is nearing and Krillin returned from his training. Roshi can't really sense Goku whatsoever, and so he cannot gauge him against Krillin. But Krillin and Bulma are pretty close when it comes to strength, with Krillin coming up higher than her a little bit. Goku is yet to be challenged. With a couple of days left to spare, they train together and get a small boost. The next tournament is right around the corner and they're all at the tournament grounds. They meet the Crane Hermit and the rest of his gang, and the preliminaries go as expected. The only difference is that Bulma has defeated the Wolfman, and so she gets into the tournament. The tournament now officially starts, and the first fight is Tien against Yamcha. That goes pretty much the same, with Tien breaking Yamcha's leg and winning the first match of the quarterfinals. Next up were Bulma and Jackie Chun. She noticed some similarities with him and Roshi, so she called him out. Roshi was surprised, and so were Goku and Krillin. Yamcha was pretty skeptical of it too, proving his own suspicions in a hospital bed. The fight between the two begins, and Bulma is on a very high guard, knowing Roshi's antics. Roshi tries to hypnotize her into losing instantly, but she quickly snaps out of it, kicking him in the head. Roshi is slightly ticked off, so he begins slowly attacking Bulma, increasing his speed with each blow. Bulma is slightly out of breath and goes away from Roshi to catch a breather. She then gets an idea. She rips her upper gi, revealing her bra, and Roshi falls into the trap. Roshi comes out of running, which Bulma uses to her advantage. Bulma ducks down, dodging Roshi and then tripping him out of the arena. Roshi sees what she did and is mad at himself. Bulma won the first match by not even trying. She gets a tank top and goes out from the ring. Next up are Krillin and Chaozu, and that goes pretty much eventless, as it goes just like in canon. Goku and Pamput, and Goku notices his parents watching, so he has some of the known audience. Regardless, he doesn't let it get to his head. The fight starts and ends pretty much the same as in the original. The next battle is Bulma and Tien. Bulma sees that he will be a tough cookie, but gets in her stance. Tien, though, knowing she's Roshi's student, isn't letting up the fight whatsoever and begins using the full force. Bulma had some struggle, but even if she stripped again, she wouldn't have an advantage, simply because she also observed the rest of the participants when she got into her bra, and he did not react one bit. Tien began bullying Bulma all over the tournament arena. Bulma was already bloodied, but she knew she had no choice but to go all out. Before that happened, Tien went up in the air and began performing the Tri-Beam. Bulma knew she's fucked right there, but she saw Goku do the Kamehameha, so she tried to do the same. The two fired their respective blasts, and the waves clashed with each other. The arena was intact, but Tien was pretty worn out by the blast he unleashed, and Bulma was pretty weakened from the damage she received, as well as her own blast. Tien then fell on the ground and Bulma charged with everything she had, but Tien kicked her in the stomach clean out the arena, winning the round. Bulma was then sent to heal up with Yamcha in the hospital. Goku and Krillin came up and then went off pretty eventless, being the same as in canon. The final match came up and Goku fights Tien. The events go pretty much as in the original. Goku has a slightly higher power boost due to rage of Yamcha and Bulma both being hospitalized. Goku eventually wins and everything goes pretty much the same from here. That includes Krillin dead and Goku dreading everything. Goku then goes and takes what he came for and races to find the foe that killed Krillin. Goku began rushing in the direction which the announcer told him the enemy left towards, and Goku is in high pursuit. Yamcha and Bulma are standing there wondering how to help in this situation. How do we help this cause? If this man has killed Krillin as easily, Goku is also in danger.
Yeah. If we lose Goku, we'll also lose all hope of winning.
Roshi told them not to worry about it, as Goku is plenty strong and he will catch the offender to the best of his ability. Goku finally tracks down Tambourine.
You! I know you took down my friend Krillin. Now you will pay! Oh please, child. Like you're any match for me.
Goku then engages him in combat, but as Goku is still weak from his fight with Tien, Tambourine easily outmatches him and destroys the flying Nimbus, supposedly, proceeding to beat Goku senseless and dropping him to the ground, presuming him to be dead. As Tambourine is heading away, he senses a spike of power emitting from Goku, as Goku gets up in full rage. He has a tiny layer of fire around his skin which is flaring here and there until he burst an aura and charged at Tambourine, breaking his neck with one side kick to the jaw. Goku then faints. Roshi sensed that massive power spike as well as everyone else. They knew they didn't really sense the ki of his, rather the pressure of said ki. Regardless, they knew it was Goku. Goku awakens, battered and hungry, in the middle of the forest, and soon stumbles upon a giant fish cooking over an open fire. Soon after, he's confronted by Yajirobe, after which he's accused of eating Yajirobe's fish. They then have a quick fight in which they're evenly matched, with Goku surprised that Yajirobe is tough enough to take his punches, and Yajirobe likewise surprised at how fast and strong Goku actually is.
I now know that you're that kid that took on Tambourine. I just know that the green demon is an offspring of an even more powerful foe called King Piccolo. Emperor Pilaf released King Piccolo and asking the Namekian villain to help him gather the Dragon Balls, but King Piccolo had his own plans and instructed Tambourine to kill every living fighter that participated in the World Martial Arts Tournament, viewing them as potential threats.
And how do you know that?
I live pretty high up to inspect the situation. Come with me, I know a place where you can access that power you just displayed.
And so, Goku and Yajirobe go to Korin's tower. Meanwhile, Roshi goes to distract King Piccolo to try and seal him away in that same rice cooker he was sealed up until now, and does not succeed, eventually managing to kill himself due to the evil containment wave's strain. Goku reaches Korin's tower and Korin instructs Goku to try and catch his sacred water. After a bunch of running and senzu beans, he's got plenty stronger to handle King Piccolo. Meanwhile, Tien is slowly dying trying to fight King Piccolo. Once Goku caught the water, he realized it's just a hoax, but also realized he trained up plenty because of it.
You didn't come here for no reason. I train you right now so you can easily withstand the actual sacred water.
Korin then told him the location to the real sacred water, and so Yajirobe and Goku went there. They rushed to the cave and they then entered. Once they were told what might happen to them, Goku really didn't give a fuck. Even when Yajirobe tried it and almost died choking on it, Goku took a full swing. Goku managed to somehow survive, and his latent ability was boosted by quite a lot. So, Goku immediately rushed to King Piccolo. Once at his outpost, Goku immediately powered up and attacked one of King Piccolo's goons called Drum, as he killed Drum with one kick. King Piccolo tells Goku he doesn't have time for him again because he's on his way to West City, and that he will have to make his demonstration quick.
You don't have time for that. Your focus is on me.
Go out of the way, kid. You're nothing but a pile of monkey trash.
And you're a pile of shit infused with grass. Fight me, and see what this monkey trash is capable of.
King Piccolo charges right at Goku and prepares a chop attack, but Goku raises his arm and blocks it. Shocked, King Piccolo sends a powerful punch at his face, but even quicker, Goku grabs his arm and throws him into one of the castle's grounds buildings.
A saying?
You're not supposed to get this strong so quickly.
Well, maybe if you stayed huddled up sealed in a rice cooker, maybe you wouldn't die.
King Piccolo rises from the ruins of the building and fires several energy blasts at him. At one point, Goku jumps over Drum's body, causing it to be blown to pieces. King Piccolo then resorts to an aerial attack. Flying high up into the clouds, he quickly flies back at Goku and fires an even stronger Makosen than the one he used to murder Chaozu a bit prior. Goku quickly dodges it, and King Piccolo sees the same opening from their first fight and fires the blast at him. But this time, Goku blocks it and then lands, completely unharmed.
Gotta hand it to you, kid. You've gone pretty strong in these following days.
None of your concern. I'm here to take what's rightfully mine and revive all the ones you killed.
Goku prepares to put all his strength into one single punch, but King Piccolo prepares to block it. Goku launches the punch as a loud explosion rings out and Tien wakes up and looks up. Goku has punched a hole clean through King Piccolo's chest. King Piccolo can only stand in place, dying in shock that he's been killed by someone.
Yeah, if I had a chance to be young again, I'd kill you with ease. The battle is far from over.
King Piccolo then spits out his egg, which contains Piccolo Jr., his last son and reincarnation, designed to carry all of his father's strength and memories all the way from birth. King Piccolo tells Piccolo Jr. to avenge his death and destroy his adversaries, before his body explodes in a massive fireball. Goku protects himself from the explosion, and once done, he goes to check up on Tien, who is safe and sound regardless of his injuries. Before they part ways, Tien says he's going back to Kame House to tell the others, while Yajirobe prepares to drive Goku back to Korin's tower. The victory over King Piccolo comes with a price. Since Shenron was killed, no one who was killed can be brought back to life. What's worse, those killed by the Demon King do not go to the afterlife. Instead, they spend eternities trapped in the limbo. Korin has an answer for this though, and tells Goku that Kami, who resides in the sky above Korin's tower, created the Dragon Balls and is the only one who can bring back the dragon. When Goku went to ask how he can get up there, Korin replies that Goku's power pole is designed to extend from the top of the Korin tower up to the bottom of the lookout. Goku quickly goes back to the site of his battle with King Piccolo, and not finding his pole there, then heads off to Kame House. Goku sees his adopted parents there and they're worried sick for him. Goku tells them all as well, and that he's going to train with Kami, the guardian of this planet. Once he convinced his parents that he's okay, he retrieves the power pole and then returns to Korin's tower, going up to Kami's lookout. Having arrived on the lookout, he was greeted by Mr. Popo. Goku rang the bell he was given by Korin to alert Popo that he is the chosen one Korin has appointed, and so Popo took some interest. Mr. Popo then challenges Goku to a battle. Mr. Popo then gets ready as Goku gets in his stance and is keen on Popo's movements. Goku rushes Mr. Popo, and since Popo did not expect Goku's speed, he just barely dodges. Popo thinks how Goku is on par with Kami himself and is on high guard, using ki sensing to dodge Goku to the best of his ability. Goku then outsmarts Popo with a Kamehameha wave, which Popo tries swallowing, but Goku comes up from behind and kicks Popo at the back of his head. The challenge is complete A bit too good, as Popo is temporarily knocked out of his element. Regaining consciousness, Mr. Popo then calls up for Kami to come and talk to Goku. Mr. Popo tells Goku to have an open mind at this point, but when Goku sees Kami, he goes in rage and attacks Kami. Kami just barely fends for himself, while telling Goku that he's not King Piccolo, which calms Goku down enough to hear Kami's story. Kami then goes into detail how him and Piccolo have been the same being, but since Kami wanted to be the guardian of his planet, he decided to strip himself of his evil intent and desires, creating King Piccolo. Also going into detail how King Piccolo and him are linked on a life force level, meaning if one dies, the other dies too. King Piccolo's egg worked in his favor since the egg is a reincarnation of King Piccolo and he'll have to train up to stand against him again. Goku takes all this in and decides to train on a lookout under the condition that the Dragon Balls are resuscitated. Kami agrees and reanimates Shenron. Bulma, Yamcha and Goku's parents are at Kami house and they all see that the stone sphere they had in their possession has been returned back into the Dragon Ball. They knew they had to act quickly and revive Krillin and Roshi, while Goku tells them he'll stay to train with Kami. With that ordeal done, Goku began his training. Since he had the power almost on par with Kami, he had no issue with any of the tasks that were given to him. Kami eventually told Goku that he was the one that killed his grandfather and that he had to cut off his tail as to prevent the damage to Earth from his Ozaru form. Goku was then mind trained to withstand the form instead of his tail being cut off, and he also learned sensing ki and using ki to do much more than just a Kamehameha. It's been about 4 years and Goku, now 18 years old, meets up with his friends at the tournament. Though they do not recognize him at first, Goku removes the turban that he is wearing to reveal his trademark hairstyle. But it is only after he notices Launch wearing lipstick and being Goku they once knew is that a grown-up man standing before them. Launch then gets introduced to the savior of the planet and is pleased to meet acquaintance. Everyone is amazed about Goku's goat spout. They don't really see his signature tail though, but Goku unwraps it from his waist and reveals it to be quite a good bit longer than he used to. Soon afterwards, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Bulma and Chaozu arrive, and Krillin emotionally thanks Goku for what he did for him. Goku then briefly meets Piccolo Jr. Goku and Tien anonymously decide not to tell the others that Piccolo's spawn is at the tournament. The preliminaries go as usual and the real tournament starts, and the first match is Tao versus Tien. Mercenary Tao isn't a cyborg in this case, but uses every trick he knows to avenge his leave from the Crane School. Tien easily defeats a now humiliated Tao without any cuts on his chest this time around. Goku vs Chi-Chi goes slightly different, because the two actually don't know each other, so Goku fights her. Chi-Chi is giving it her all, but simply cannot get a punch or a kick in. Anything she tried to fool Goku worked against her due to Goku knowing how to sense ki. Goku then outsmarted her into kicking him, which in turn made Goku disappear and Chi-Chi landing straight out of the arena. Next up is Krillin and Piccolo. That fight goes pretty much exactly the same, since Krillin hasn't really studied much of new stuff during the years, so he picks himself up and forfeits the match. Yamcha and Hero, which is Kami in disguise, get in and prepare for battle. That fight also goes as in the original, with Yamcha humiliating himself in front of the entire audience. Goku vs Tien comes up and it goes relatively the same up until Goku takes his weights off. Turns out the weights are all in the neighborhood of a ton, to which everyone is even more amazed. Goku then displays his speed, and even Tien cannot keep up with Goku at all. He tries attacking Goku, fails, and then forfeits knowing he's no match for Goku. Kami and Piccolo square off, and that goes relatively the same, with Kami ending up sealed with a reverse Mafuba. Talk about an Uno reverse. Goku and Piccolo is the last round of the tournament. Piccolo next squares off against Goku. After some initial attacks, Piccolo attempts to destroy the arena and all the spectators with a powerful attack. Goku manages to deflect it though. When Piccolo attempts to do it again, Goku counters with his Super Kamehameha and reflects the beam back at Piccolo, skating him and destroying some of his clothes, including his turban. Without his turban, the crowd recognizes him as King Piccolo and flees in terror. This works to Goku's advantage, as he no longer has to worry about any innocents getting hurt. However, Piccolo keeps Bulma there and uses her as a captive, but Goku simply uses his super speed to free Bulma and telling her that she might as well belong to him to end up safe like the others. Bulma blushes, then flees the scene. Piccolo next uses his giant form to grow roughly 4 times his size. After being thrown and taunted by Goku, Piccolo grows even further to the size of a moderate building. This again works to Goku's advantage, however, as he's able to enter Piccolo's mouth and then escape with the bottle where Kami is stored. Realizing that his great size is not helping him fight Goku, Piccolo returns to his normal size. After some sparring, Piccolo hits Goku with his antenna beam and leaves Goku stunned, as he moves in for a follow-up blow. He's blocked by Kami, who enters the fight. Goku protests this, and after making Kami agree to let him fight on his own, Goku continues the onslaught. Goku then uses that same bottle Kami used for Piccolo to seal him. He threw it in the sky and diverting Piccolo's attention, as Goku studied the usage of Mafuba and performing it on Piccolo. Piccolo tried to counter it the same way as he did with Kami, but Goku is 3 times more powerful than him, so Goku knew he has to put all of his power into the attack. Piccolo is caught in the wave and trapped in a bottle. Capping it and sealing it, Piccolo was sealed for good and given to Kami to keep at the lookout as to prevent any further openings of the bottle. After the tournament, Goku came back along with Kami and the announcer. The announcer called out the safety and the winner of the tournament to the other people who were in hiding near the tournament grounds. Bulma is sitting there, staring away from Goku and blushing. Goku eventually figured out Bulma fell in love with him, he just doesn't know why. Kami tells Goku that Bulma thought he proposed to her, flashback, and telling her that she might as well belong to him to end up safe like the others. Bulma blushes, then flees the scene. And so, Bulma is blushing hard. Goku figures that he kind of messed up, but to make things easier, he actually did develop feelings towards Bulma while he was training with Kami. However, he thought that she didn't feel the same. Goku's parents came up and started joking around the matter and teasing him for it. Goku in this case would be stupid as hell, but he started excessively blushing. Goku's mom Akari pushed Bulma and Krillin pushed Goku, as the two were pushed together. Well, what I said wasn't really meant in that kind of fashion, but it's true, I do have feelings for you.
Zip it. You're making me overheat.
So, will you become my wife?
Yes!
With this very exciting revelation, the whole crew there congratulates Goku and Bulma on the engagement, and the two are due to marry very soon. Though Kami then continues about Goku and told him of his origin once he dove deep into it, since he was afraid that they wouldn't have kids since he's a Saiyan and Bulma is a human.
Goku, you aren't an Earthling. The second I saw your tail, I knew you weren't human. You're a Saiyan, and you were sent here to survive as the last remaining Saiyan.
I don't really care, Kami. I fit in with the Earthlings and I don't mind being slightly different.
There's something else. You were born with ki similar to the deities.
I don't mind that either. Don't spoil this now. Goku really doesn't take any of this seriously and focuses on celebrating Bulma's and his engagement. Meanwhile, Bulma is thinking about a very interesting idea for the upcoming marriage when Kami explained everything. The marriage comes shortly after, and this time, Goku isn't really confused like in the original, so he spends this time having fun. However, the things turn for the weird very fast. As a marriage surprise, Bulma prepared a surprise with Shenron at the wedding. Bulma summoned Shenron like she wanted back then as a teen. This time, however, she didn't want a handsome prince or lifetime strawberries. As soon as the "you may kiss the bride" words came, Bulma didn't want to leave without one wish.
I wish to become a Saiyan like my husband.
Say what? Shenron granted the wish, and Bulma began sprouting spiky black hair and eyes, as well as a tail in a glorious flash of gold aura surrounding her. Bulma has finished her transformation and she looks at her tail, with every single person there astonished of Bulma's new appearance. Before she could observe herself more, Goku rushes in with a punch, which Bulma easily blocks, smiles, and so they begin fighting then and there. Both Bulma and Goku feel the tingles of their Saiyan blood boiling, and now Goku's newlywed wife finally knows how Goku feels while fighting. She's happy, and most of the time after marriage is those two sparring. It's been approximately 4 years since the marriage, and everyone decided to gather up at Kame House for a reunion. They got to Bulma quite easily, and Goku was on board too. So the two began their trip towards Kame House, unknowing of the next thing that will happen very soon. Kami notices a very strange power level approaching Earth, but pays no attention to it. The space pod crashes near a farm, and out comes a long-haired humanoid person. Raditz, Goku's brother, has arrived on Earth to search for his brother. And so he starts searching for his brother using the scouter. He finds the strongest power to be in the neighborhood of 600, so he goes there, going straight for the Kame House, since Piccolo doesn't exist in this case. At Kame House, Goku and Bulma arrive and surprise everyone, considering they haven't seen each other in years. Krillin notes the fact that they came with the child, so he immediately congratulates them, followed by Roshi and Launch and everyone who was there. However, Bulma senses a disturbance, and so does Goku. Bulma rips her casual clothes off to reveal her turtle school gi. As Raditz approaches closer, Bulma uses her new super speed to stop Raditz dead in his tracks. Raditz notes the tale right away.
Move out of the way, woman.
Make me. I can sense dread in your ki, so explain.
I came here for my brother Kakarot, the dude in a black and orange vest.
Bulma, stay out of it. I'll handle this. You are a Saiyan, but you look nothing like a brother I'd ever have.
Prince Vegeta is waiting for us. Let's go.
Oh, I ain't going away from here, so you can just leave.
It's not a choice you can make, Kakarot.
Yeah? But I can fight you for that choice, so either get defeated physically, or mentally, or both. Raditz attacks Goku, but Bulma comes in between and kicks Raditz in the jaw from down below.
Sorry, hubby, but I'd like to test my power now.
Goku respects that, but is there just in case. Raditz gets angry and starts attacking Bulma, however, she's holding her own. Raditz, however, spikes some of his ki and grabs an edge in battle. Bulma is getting concerned, but isn't worried, as she spikes her power to be on par with Raditz. The two fight, but since they're pretty much on par, they cannot easily win over each other. Bulma then uses an after image to confuse Raditz. Raditz sure is confused and shooting ki blasts to after images, only for the real one to come up from behind Raditz and grab him by the tail, causing immediate paralyzation to Raditz. Bulma then brings Raditz down to the ground and holds him by the tail, as Goku and the gang interrogate him. After a few attempts of an unsuccessful conversation, Raditz low-key points at his counter, to which Goku easily catches on, takes it off, breaking it and blasting it away. Raditz finally starts talking.
The person I mentioned sent me here, in the hopes of recruiting you and taking over the universe as a primary goal. The second one being to defeat a tyrant named Frieza. Now that you destroyed the scouter, there is a high chance they will come for me and kill you, me, and everyone on this shitty planet. I say we train our asses off and get them to join us instead, because I'm tired of that smug prince going his way. I'm guessing there is a tracker and a microphone attached to that device. Good thing you came out clean. Now on to the whole brother stuff.
Raditz then explains the whole story of how he came here and why he was sent away to Earth. Goku takes a minute to absorb all of that and starts wondering if that same tyrant Raditz mentioned was the person that destroyed the planet, as opposed to a random meteor which could easily be deflected with a few strong Saiyans on the planet. Raditz is astonished his brother is not a dumbass and starts overthinking it. Goku does successfully realize that his brother has some mental issues he needs to work out, as well as his tail weakness. With the whole thing set in motion, Goku, Bulma, Raditz, and all Z fighters began preparing for the coming of Vegeta and his accomplice Napa. With Raditz now in the team, they are indecisive on how they'd like to train. Goku mentions the hyperbolic time chamber, but it only has 2 uses per lifetime of 2 years, so they'd like to use it in the future if someone unbeatable comes up. However, while Roshi and Krillin were in the limbo from the death they endured from King Piccolo, they mentioned something about a deity by the name of King Kai and how that person has a secret technique. Roshi also mentions how his sister, fortune teller Baba, can jump in between our world and the other world, so she should know more about it. With it, they head over to the temple of fortune teller Baba. Getting there, they meet Roshi's sister for the very first time and ask her some questions regarding that. Baba confirms that indeed King Kai does exist after a 1,000,000-mile road called the Snake Way. She's also going into detail how he has a secret technique called Kaioken that was invented by the Kais. Goku asks if he can cross over to train with King Kai, and Baba is reluctant, but she can ask King Yama for approval. Goku is ecstatic, and so Baba crossed over and returns back relatively fast. She mentions she can let them in, but only if they have a good reason to get teachings King Kai can offer them. With it, they begin deciding on who can go cross over to train. Obvious choices are Goku, Raditz, and Bulma, since they're all Saiyans. Bulma then leaves her son Gohan with Launch so that she can train up. Having that out of the way, they all head to the other world. Once there, they introduce themselves and their desires. Yama takes some interest in Raditz. Even though Raditz has no ill intent of attaining his power, he sees that he did some bad shit, and Raditz has to answer an honesty questionnaire to pass. The questionnaire consisted of questions that Raditz has to honestly answer regarding his evil doings. Raditz managed to pass, and so they were let loose to go train with King Kai. Baba wishes them good luck, and the trio parts their way towards King Kai. They decided that one will carry the rest until tired, so that they maintain maximum travel efficiency. So Raditz goes first and gets tired after hauling everyone for 1/3 of the way there. Then Goku goes and he flies slower since he learned how to fly recently, but he gets them another 1/3 of the way. Bulma then gets the chance and she hauls them both for 1/4 of the way there. So then Raditz and Goku make it the rest of the way there, with Goku hauling his wife to the finish line. The trip took about 20 days and they arrive to King Kai's planet. Once they land, they don't see anyone, and they also think they just did all that for nothing and have to go back until they see a monkey.
That is King Kai?
Don't be so dense. That must be one of his pets. Let's power up to let King Kai know we're here.
Having said that, the trio powers up, and actually quite high at that too. Out comes King Kai after screaming at them to stop. He then introduces himself to the crew. The trio explains why they have arrived and how they need to buff up for the Saiyans' arrival. This was mostly Raditz talking because Goku and Bulma struggle to stay up on their feet since they are not used to the gravity. Raditz was just chilling at 10 times normal gravity. King Kai told them that they can get taught Kaioken, but only if they can make him laugh. Raditz starts and makes a chicken joke. Goku continues and he makes a knock-knock joke. Bulma then at first made an actually well-compelled joke, to which the Saiyans were laughing their asses off, but King Kai did not. Seeing that, Bulma then makes a boob joke and King Kai tries to hold his composure but succumbs to the humoring joke. With them having said their jokes, King Kai lets them train. They all agreed to train up for Kaioken, but King Kai interrupts, saying how it's a very, very difficult technique and that only the strongest among them can learn it. Goku knows he's stronger than both of them, but calls out bullshit and says they'll need all the help they can get. King Kai reluctantly agrees, but stays on his zeal. Raditz then asked him whether Frieza is not enough, and King Kai is caught off guard. King Kai then allows all three to learn Kaioken. With it, they begin. The training goes relatively the same as in canon with Goku, but for all three of them. That is, catching the monkey, going one after another a few times. Then the mallet game the same way, and then the Genkidama and Kaioken training. They also trained physically and mentally, teaching Raditz to train his mind as well as body. With a stable mind, they learn and apply Kaioken pretty well, and they even managed to gather up plenty of skill in that 1 year they were there. Since there were 3 of them, their power jumped a long way. It's not just 9,000 like Goku had, but more than double that. All 3 standing in the neighborhood of 20,000. With 1 year passing, King Kai is the one that has to remind them they have to go back and prepare for battle on Earth. The 3 panic and they then depart back to the check-in station. Over there, Yema already called up fortune teller Baba as they were rushing in to get picked up. Arriving there in less than 50 minutes using Kaioken as well, they meet up with Baba and they go back on Earth. Baba gets them all back and they all meet up with the Z Fighters. Turns out even Gohan got training since Launch had many sneezing fits and trained Gohan up with the rest of the Z Fighters. Gohan unlocked plenty of power and stands pretty much at the same power as his father did before departure. Having done everything they could, they took some senzu beans and healed up for the arrival. But the Saiyans will be there the day after tomorrow, so they got plenty of time to rest and catch up. They didn't really catch up, just trained Gohan and the Z Fighters. Yajirobe prepared a few senzu beans just in case, and also wished them best of luck. With that set in motion, they are ready for the Saiyans. 2 days pass and they are ready to fight. They are all keenly sensing for any disturbance for someone's power level. Eventually, they finally caught on to a high power level coming towards Earth very fast, and so the gang goes to where they predict could end up. The Saiyans land in the outskirts of the city and the squad rushes towards the crash site. They land and wait until the door opens. Out come Vegeta and Napa. The 2 Saiyans are searching and it doesn't really take long until they notice Raditz and his long ass hair. They also see Kakarot and a female Saiyan. They never heard of a female surviving the meteor collision.
Raditz, I gotta say I'm disappointed.
Piss off. You know I didn't like your ideology. We have enough power to take you down. So at this point, the only good thing that can come out of this is defeating Frieza.
I don't care for that cum-stained lizard, and you won't boss an elite.
Y'all ever stop talking about low class and elite?
Of course you wouldn't get it. Get back to the kitchen.
Not if I defeat you, Mr. I failed to protect my race.
With the Saiyans all having a stare down, they all pretty much standing like deer in headlights and pondering, wondering what they're gonna say next. Raditz then speaks up.
Kakarot, let me fight Napa. He's been a nuisance and a bootlicker, so I think he needs to be taught a lesson.
Go ahead. If you 2 got a bad history, I won't tamper.
Bulma also interrupts.
As for me, I'd like to take on that smug prince. It would be funny if he was defeated by a girl.
What was that?
Bulma wants to destroy Vegeta's pride, and Raditz would like to get back at Nappa for all the shit Nappa has done to him. With that said, they all get into their respective stance and they begin the fight. Nappa goes in recklessly, charging at Raditz, but Raditz uses his newfound power and counters the attack Nappa missed, landing a knee right in Nappa's gut. Nappa didn't expect that to happen, so he became more angry and powered up all the way to rush in. Meanwhile, Vegeta and Bulma got in their respective stances and began the fight. Bulma started rushing in, managing to land a hit on Vegeta, but he countered by a sledgehammer on Bulma's head. Bulma fell down and Goku was a bit worried, but Bulma left the rubble unscathed. Bulma then decided to fight at her half power, knowing Vegeta has more in him. She's trying to bring out Vegeta's power to see where she stands. So, Bulma proceeds to taunt Vegeta in combat. Back to Raditz and Nappa. Nappa is getting worn out and he cannot really do much about it, but take the beating. Nappa is angrier and angrier by the minute, and Raditz is quite prideful.
Here is how it's gonna go down. Either I kill you right now, or leave you be with Prince Vegeta and leave this planet. Meanwhile, you're gonna take on Frieza. How's that sound, Baldy? You won't teach me anything, you low-class trash!
Nappa sealed his fate and decided to rush in with his famous mouth beat. Raditz stayed still, and when Nappa came close enough and Nappa fired his attack, Raditz punched through the wave and punching straight through Nappa's mouth out the back of his head, destroying his neck and paralyzing him. Raditz then walked away and stood next to Goku, who was watching the whole ordeal.
Good riddance.
Don't Don't you think that was a bit too much?
You don't know what he's done to me. So this is the least I could do to him.
Suit yourself.
Bulma and Vegeta are having a standoff. Seeing Napa dying on the ground, Napa tried to ask Vegeta to help him, but Vegeta ki blasted Napa out of existence. Returning back to the fight, he then powered up to a height closer to Bulma's 20k of base. He was quite powerful in his own class, meaning Bulma had to power up to her fullest in order to have a chance at winning. Bulma, however, didn't want to use her regular base, but rather used Kaioken for the first time in battle. She uses Kaioken and rushes at Vegeta, showing Vegeta what she's really capable of. Vegeta is injured, but can still stand up. Bulma then speaks up.
I have mastered the arts of Kaioken, and that multiplies my strength, speed, and all the other traits I use in battle. I can defeat you with this, or my raw power.
Vegeta's pride is now shattered that a woman defeated him, letting his anger cloud his judgment. He goes up in the air and powers up an anger-fueled Gallic gun, which is aimed right at Earth. Bulma is astonished at the sheer hard-headedness of Vegeta, but isn't concerned about the attack, as all she has to do is prepare a Kamehameha. So, Vegeta's Gallic gun and Bulma's Kamehameha both shoot off at each other and clash right in the middle. Vegeta is quite struggling, so he's pushing all the power he can, while Bulma is also having a bit of struggle but easily maintaining her energy. Vegeta pushes all his power in and the blast furthers towards Bulma, but Bulma decides to end it in one try, as she bursts out a Kaioken, which doubles the impact of the wave. Vegeta can't handle it, and so he gets engulfed in it. Bulma calms down and powers down from her Kaioken as Goku and Raditz come beside her.
He's still there, just crippled. Wait for it.
Yeah, let's wait in on him to come down.
Vegeta indeed falls in true Vegeta fashion like in canon and tries picking himself back up, but not before he goes and activates his trusty artificial moon. Vegeta transforms into Uzaru and is beginning to stomp on the three Saiyans. However, all three of them have tails, but everyone chooses not to look except for Goku. Goku knows he trained himself but never really got to use it at all, so with a heavy heart, he looks at the artificial moon and transforms into Uzaru, grabbing Vegeta's leg while at it. The battle is now against two titans, Goku versus Vegeta.
Let's see what you got, Kakarot. Let's warm up, shall we?
Vegeta goes and starts kicking Goku away, but Goku easily catches his leg and kicking him while he's being held. Vegeta falls down on the ground, but does a classic Uzaru mouse beam which Goku tanks with ease. Goku then jumps on Vegeta and he knees him right in the head, making Vegeta go unconscious. Goku destroys the Power Ball and they both revert back to normal. Raditz and Bulma come by Goku's side, seeing Vegeta all crippled.
What do we do with him? Do we just throw him back? Kill him?
No killing. Everyone deserves a second chance. Anyone can change.
I just hope you're right about him. He's done more bad than good.
Relax, guys. Let's take him back to Kame House.
With it, they haul Vegeta to Kame House and get screamed at by Roshi. But Goku assured him that Vegeta is of no threat. Goku's parents understood, but didn't want to die if it comes to that. Vegeta awakens and looks around. Seeing the three that humiliated him, he tries to get back up and prepares to fight, despite being all crippled.
Alright, let's continue where we left off.
Slow down. You're safe now. Tell us about Frieza.
Vegeta understood that's a common Saiyan instinct, so he continued.
Frieza enslaved us way back and made us do shit that we never did before. He treated us like disposable muscle for his team. Now that I think of it, he was the one that destroyed our planet.
Vegeta realized that it was indeed Frieza, but he just smirked. He now had a new plan set in his mind, and that is defeat and kill Frieza. He stated that, just like how he was humiliated, he'd like to do that to Frieza. He wanted his pride back and then decided to roll with our Z fighters. Roshi took a sigh of relief as well as everyone else. So having that all set in place, Vegeta decided that he will be the only one to defeat Frieza, but the Saiyans were against it. The two brothers started making plans to get everyone to Frieza. That included a massive spaceship capable of hosting all the Saiyans on it, but they have to locate Frieza first. Vegeta mentions how the scouter acts as a tracker whenever someone talks through it, so as long as they're not the ones talking, they should be fine. Raditz agrees with the idea and they get the scouter out and listen in on any transmissions from the Frieza Force. After listening to it for about an hour, they get impatient, give the scouters to Goku's parents, and they go off to train, while Toshiro and Akari take care of business. Raditz and Vegeta have set their scouters to instantly register Frieza talking and save it so they can train in peace. Before training, Goku mentioned something about their transportation and Vegeta says how it's a one-seater, so only him and Raditz can go and get to Frieza. Vegeta mentioned their space pods and if the techs on Earth figure it out, they might just build something to have a good chance of getting through space just fine. Bulma mentions how her father is a scientist and that he can fix a supercomputer with a paperclip. So they're reliant on Dr. Briefs while the Saiyans and her train up. Vegeta is interested in having a nice gravity machine and the Saiyans agree, and so Dr. Briefs begins building that. In the meantime, the Saiyans train up on the lookout and wait for the thing to complete, so they waste time on that. When Dr. Briefs announces the finish of the gravity machine, they immediately move in the gravity machine to train. At first they tried 20 times normal gravity and they all struggle, with Vegeta being a kook and saying how he can handle it like a dream, but in reality he has the same struggle as the others. The Saiyans are training in the gravity chamber for about a whole month while the spaceship was being built, and in the meantime they told they'd like to have a gravity machine in it, even stronger than the one they're currently training in. Dr. Briefs is quite skeptical of it, but agrees regardless. The skepticism is gone when he sees the Saiyans comfortably sitting at 100 times normal gravity, training away and almost destroying the chamber each time they throw a punch, kick, or a key attack. Dr. Briefs then decides that they really can use that gravity machine, so he actually activates it whole, pushing all 500% he's built it for. With the spaceship done, Dr. Briefs tells the gang that it's finished, and that they can now go and set their course towards the evil tyrant. Raditz goes back to the scouters and reads Vegeta's first, since he thinks that Frieza still treats Vegeta fairly alright. He doesn't find anything interesting, so he checks on his own scouter, thinking that the same thing will be on his end. But Frieza sends a special message to Raditz.
Alright, Raditz. If you're still alive, I would like to personally invite you to planet Namek on a very special mission. We're collecting the Dragon Balls, and I don't want Vegeta or Napa to know. So take your pod and come alone.
Raditz hears this and runs to tell the tale to his pals, but when he tries opening the message, it's gone.
I swear, Frieza sent me a message. He said something about planet Namek, and how he's gonna set course to get the Dragon Balls or whatnot. He told me to come alone.
You know Frieza would never invite you.
Look, it's a one-time message. We can trust him.
Well, I guess we stick to the damn plan and go to Namek. One thing is certain though, we'll need all those 500 times gravity we were given. I heard Frieza is quite a powerful foe.
With it, they go into the spaceship and depart into space. In space, they train right away. And what better way to exploit their newfound power than to use it on 2 times of what they're already used to, which is 200 times normal gravity. So they dial the machine to that and immediately start training, despite their struggle. They decide they will double now and to 400 times, and they get to 500 times, which is the maximum the machine can handle. So they begin the training. After living comfortably in 200 times, they double the gravity and train again, struggling again. However, it's for their own benefit. Vegeta accidentally busted a hole through a ship, so Goku held it until Raditz patched it up from the outside. Bulma screamed at Vegeta and Vegeta screamed back, but Raditz fixed it and they continued the training. Bulma decided to lay down for a bit, since her female body got tired much sooner than the boys. So the three continued training. After they reached 400 times, they were closing in on Namek, so they went all the way to 500 times and started training in that gravity. Bulma then can finally train without that big of a strain on her body, so she kept up with the rest. Bulma then took the extremes and suggested sparring with everyone at once, and the Saiyans agreed, seeing it's all in their blood. Bulma took all three of them and developed quite some new techniques. After about 2 months of traveling, they have reached Namek. They shut off the machine for landing and started gently touching down on the Namekian soil. Once they got down on Namek, they immediately put their ship in a capsule, courtesy of Bulma asking her dad to do it just in case things go south. Vegeta immediately started skimming through the planet, with Raditz and Goku following. Bulma hid her ki and followed, telling the others to hide their ki. They figure the Frieza Force has counters and they can get immediately recognized. Goku didn't really care, hence he was told God Ki he harnessed wasn't sensible by normal sensing or the counters for that matter, so he just kept at it. While Bulma was resting, she used some resources in the ship to assemble a dragon radar to locate the Dragon Ball sooner. They already found 2 of them in the same place, which they assumed were taken by Frieza. Vegeta then said,
If you're the one trusted by Frieza, lower your power and play along.
Yeah, no shit, Prince. That's what I had in mind.
Let's focus on the matter at hand. We can take the Dragon Balls they don't possess and then
take their Dragon Balls at the end. That's my wife for you.
Alright, boys. Let's begin the conquest.
Raditz then went in the direction where Frieza was and appeared right in front of him.
Lord Frieza, I arrived, like you called. You're a bit late, but we can still use some help. How did you find me without the scouter? I learned a technique that allows me to sense ki, so I don't need a scouter. I still keep it for communication. Charming. Alright, go to a Namekian village and ask for their Dragon Ball. If they don't give it up, take it by force. On it, Lord Frieza.
Raditz's plan is now in motion. While he is gonna temporarily work for Frieza, the rest of the Saiyans are gonna take the Dragon Balls for safekeeping, preventing the Frieza Force from taking the wish-granting orbs. Raditz is quite cringing at the fact he's working for Frieza again, but it's for the greater revenge. While the rest are going around and gathering Dragon Balls with the radar, Raditz goes to a village and meets up with the Namekians there. He briefly explains how he needs their Dragon Ball, as him and his friends have a plan for Frieza to finally put an end to his rampage. Meanwhile, Vegeta is growing impatient, just waiting and doing nothing, as they camp like bitches in a cave.
This is fucking ridiculous. I want to kill that Kumstain and I will do it on my own.
Shut up already. It's our best chance we have. We already have plenty of Dragon Balls to destroy Frieza's plan of getting his wish.
But it's just one. What does it mean if they have the rest?
If they don't have all of them, they can't get their wish.
Whoa, you don't say.
Vegeta found out he could use that wish for his own benefit and take down Frieza all on his own. So he tells them he's going out and stealing all those Dragon Balls to wish for immortality.
Stop! If you do that, it will cause more harm than good. We'll fight them all soon, but for now, we can't let them have the Dragon Ball we own.
Would you rather have me with immortality or Frieza?
Bulma's right. Let's give them a good window first and make it hard for the last Dragon Ball.
Vegeta is pissed, but not minding their thinking, knowing it's for the best. Back to Raditz, he collected one of the Dragon Balls and has returned it to the ship. He decides to let his friends know by powering up to 400. Vegeta picked up the signal at 477 and told the two they now have 4 Dragon Balls and they are 2 away from beginning to search for the last one. Vegeta suggests moving away from the cave to a different cave, since they need to observe more ground now that Frieza Force is making their way across the planet. The two agree and set on their merry way. Raditz now goes with Frieza to pick up the 5th Dragon Ball. On their way there, they come across Nail, a powerful warrior of Namek, and he challenges Frieza to a fight. Frieza tells Raditz to take him on and Raditz complies. They begin to fight, and Raditz is still suppressed to not let Frieza catch on. Nail begins the attacks, and it's clear Raditz cannot keep up with Nail. So he uses 5 times more power, which actually intrigues Frieza. Nail is still in the lead, so Raditz resorts to using Kaioken as to prevent Frieza from poking his nose into the whole ordeal. However, Frieza is astonished. Nail is now quite taken by surprise, as Raditz tries leading him away from Frieza. Since Raditz also learned mind reading with Goku, he punches Nail, and with that he tells him telepathically to recede back from Frieza, because he has a plan and he's not the one who is legit working for Frieza. Nail catches on, and they slowly punch each other further and further away, of course pulling their punches. Once behind the mountain, they proceed to talk, while casually throwing punches at the floor and throwing ki blasts.
My name's Raditz, and I came here with a bunch of friends to prevent Frieza to become immortal with the Dragon Balls. You've got to give us all 6. We got the last one so Frieza can't summon a dragon. And how do I know you're legit? I'm massively suppressed to not spook Frieza. Now, I'm gonna power up with my Kaioken times 3, and let's have a wave battle. You pull yours away, and you won't be killed. Frieza will just let you go.
Nail then prepares his wave as Raditz does the same, and at first, Raditz lets Nail take over. Raditz then uses Kaioken times 3 on his suppressed power and seemingly kills Nail. Raditz created a pocket inside his blast so Nail can hide his ki and disappear. Raditz then gets back to Frieza.
Good riddance.
You've gotten quite powerful, monkey. You will become my right-hand man when I attain my immortality.
With it, Raditz and Frieza go pick up the next Dragon Ball. In the meantime, Goku, Vegeta, and Bulma found Guru, the guardian of the planet, and have discussed the whole thing with him. Guru told them that he can unleash their powers and get them a better chance at victory, if confrontation is unavoidable. Vegeta, Bulma, and Goku all get a power boost, but Goku's is a bit more flashier, as instead of a regular aura, he gets enveloped by fire while the ritual took place. Guru noticed that Goku harnesses God Ki and told him that his Ki pool was way too great for his ability to fathom, so he will need the potential unleash from a younger Namekian since he's coming to an end. Goku thanks him and they start plotting their next move, but before that can happen, Nail arrives to Guru's palace.
So, you are the friend of that Saiyan, right? We just had a fight, and he told me everything. So no need to bore me with the details.
Nail explained the whole thing and backed up the Saiyans. Now, the Saiyans had one goal in mind, which is to hide the Dragon Ball on their capsulated ship so no one can find it, while they take on Frieza. So they do that, and now they wait. Raditz and Frieza both manage to find the other 2 Dragon Balls and are so close to summoning the dragon, but the last one isn't in the village.
I don't get it! Where can the Dragon Ball be? Maybe that slug I killed hid it. Let's bring the whole entirety of our Frieza force. Let's search for it. Good thinking.
Frieza then commands everyone in the ship and on planet to search for the last Dragon Ball, as it's crucial for summoning the wish-granting dragon. The Frieza force complies and he lets the Saiyans over at Guru's palace, by bumping his power to 1000. Raditz told Frieza to split the Frieza force so the trio has a good window to hide all rest of the Dragon Balls. So when the trio raided on Vegeta's counter, they knew they had to be fast, but also keep distance. They moved at a steady pace, masking their ki and avoiding all Frieza force goons, with Vegeta killing 1 or 2 of course, out of spite. They move in on a ship and search for the Dragon Balls. To prevent the sensors in the ship from going off, they used their flight to avoid all traps. They got to the final destination and took the Dragon Balls, and then quickly encapsulated their own ship so they could hide the Dragon Balls and put the ship back into the capsule. Then flee out of there as quickly as they came. As Frieza was searching, he got tired of flying, so he decided to go back and pick up his floater in the ship. Raditz was quite scared, but he sensed a specific power level, so he took a sigh of relief and followed Frieza. Frieza was way too quick, so he powered up to catch up to him. Frieza, however, was quite surprised at that. At the ship, Frieza noticed the Dragon Balls are gone. Raditz acted astonished and acted like he doesn't know anything up until Frieza threw a ki blast at Raditz, which he easily flicked aside. Frieza now knew what's going on. Raditz and Frieza are now in the standoff, both looking at each other and in defensive. Raditz has a bit of sweat dripping from his face, while Frieza is smiling.
So, you really are the one behind all of this. You shouldn't have come.
Frieza rushed Raditz, and it's a good thing Raditz is strong now, since now he can handle Frieza like in a dream. Frieza goes for a punch, but Raditz blocks and grips Frieza's fist. Frieza is in pain, but pulls away, beginning to transform into his second form. Raditz is confused, but still goes with it, since he knew Frieza's father, King Cold, also had that same ability and form he maintains all the time. Raditz begins to attack Frieza now, landing pretty much every punch Raditz threw at him. On the other side of the planet, Goku and Vegeta sense the commotion and figure that's Raditz. They go get Bulma so they can rush to the site, and so they go. Meanwhile, Raditz was pummeling Frieza down to the ground, literally, but all that changed when Frieza exploded with rage, revealing a brand new form, that being his final form. Raditz is now astonished, and before managing to say anything, Frieza is right in front of him. Frieza grabs him and chokes him before kicking him into the water. Raditz pulls out a Kaioken x4 and gets up, landing a headbutt on Frieza. As the two move away to catch a breather, Bulma arrives with Goku and Vegeta.
So, there's more of you? You also have a female? I thought I killed off every speck of your stupid heritage to go reproduce.
You did, but at least we used the Dragon Balls responsibly.
As Bulma whispers something to the gang, she continues on.
You know Dragon Balls do not work if you're using them for your own selfish desire, right?
That's bullshit! How do you know?
Goku and Vegeta quickly catch on the wish bluff.
We revived our race with the Dragon Balls.
You did what?
I'm going to ask you to leave. You're not getting that wish.
So why did you steal the Dragon Balls?
The squad is taken aback, but Raditz saves the situation.
So the rest of your wishes don't have a chance of being accomplished if you're the one who has a say in them.
Raditz activated a ×10 Kaioken and started putting all of his power in his punches. But more he attacked, the more Frieza powered up, and Bulma noticed it, followed by the rest of the Saiyans. Raditz was put down in the ground when Frieza built his power to 50% and introduced him to the ground.
If we don't intervene, he'll legit have a blind date with the dirt.
Calm your tits down. Let's see how this goes first.
Meanwhile, Frieza goes,
So Raditz, just like how your and Vegeta's father were under my foot, history repeats itself. Shameful to see all this potential wasted on protecting the shitty rock.
You're wrong. It's you. You are wasted. Wasted on your ego, which is taking you on the wrong path.
My ego has nothing to do with your race of monkeys. If you want to see your ego, look at Vegeta, the prince of 3 Saiyans and a whore.
In that very moment, he gets a swift kick from the back by Bulma.
That whore has got plenty of kick.
Oh wow, let's see if you're gonna be any more of a challenge.
Bulma powers up her ×10 Kaioken, which sets her even with Frieza. Goku goes to comfort his brother Raditz, but something is off about him. His hair is standing up, but Goku doesn't feel a Kaioken surge, but rather pure rage. Looking back at his wife, then back at Raditz, Raditz stands up and reminisces on his past.
I hope your race meets the same end as mine. By yours truly, I swore to my father I will protect my planet.
Raditz explodes in a very intense golden light as both Bulma and Frieza stop the fight to see Raditz transformed into a Super Saiyan.
Is that truly the prophecy we all believed in? Is that really a Super Saiyan?
Raditz rushes Frieza with a speed so intense even Frieza was barely able to catch up. Bulma drops from her Kaioken due to wear and tear on her body, so Goku comes to nurse her. Nail comes by and hides behind the rock, observing the whole situation from afar. Vegeta is very mad at the current situation as he believed he was destined to become the Super Saiyan of legend. However, the prophecy had a downfall, and that was Raditz himself. Sure, he had control over his form, but his potential was never unlocked by Guru, so when Frieza powered up, Raditz was pushed back by the pressure. Frieza shot a laser through the dust and it hit Raditz right in the shoulder, then another in the leg, then another through his chest. Raditz collapsed and fell down, somehow still in a Super Saiyan. Frieza once again steps on Raditz's head.
Just as I thought, still weak.
Frieza then aims and shoots at Raditz, shooting him right through his heart. Goku stands there, completely out of his element, but Bulma shoots a blast at Frieza, once again entering Times 10 Kaioken and charging right at Frieza. Goku finally gets back from the parallel universe into his and sees Bulma fighting Frieza. Knowing well that this will end up bad, he also activates Times 10 Kaioken and goes in. Vegeta also begins to power up and charge in as well, but Frieza just kicks Goku and Bulma away, shooting lasers at them both. Vegeta was closer to Goku, so he punches the laser beam from him, damaging his fist a little bit in the process, but Goku is already deep on the ground from the impact. Bulma somehow manages to get out of her crater, but with a huge hole in her torso, right where the liver is. Bulma is heavily bleeding, but still takes a stance, but falls just as Goku comes rushing towards her. Crying, Goku sees Bulma all hurt and sees that her energy is fading away.
Don't die, please!
Darling, please defeat him by any means necessary. I love you.
Goku can't process his wife's death, so once he's aware, he stands up and his ki also spikes. Vegeta turns around to see Goku going through the same thing Raditz went through.
I will not allow any more deaths by you, Frieza!
Goku transforms into a blue-haired version of Super Saiyan, and Vegeta is very confused, having seen two Super Saiyans at the same time frame, wondering how in the fuck is it possible to have two Saiyans of legend emerge. Goku in the meantime is using the power to come up to Frieza and kick him in the head. The force of impact sends Frieza into the dirt. Goku looks at his fist and sees he overshot the kick. Taking a look at Frieza, Frieza looks like his face got smashed by a hydraulic press. Goku, seeing Frieza is still alive, comes down to him and says,
Watch this, Frieza!
Goku looks at Nail and Nail comes closer, as the two get the Dragon Balls from the ship and summon them. Since Nail is one of to speak Namekian, he wishes to revive everyone who is killed by Frieza on this planet. As Porunga was doing his thing, Bulma and Raditz awaken and see they're alive again. Goku stands there, still in the Super Saiyan Blue, and tells Raditz and Bulma to finish Frieza off for good. Raditz and Bulma have no issue with it, and with a combo attack, they pulverize Frieza for good. With nothing else but to get rid of the Frieza Force, they do so. The Saiyans split into groups, as well as the Namekians, and they did a number on the goons and defeated them quite easily. Teamwork made the dream work, so with no one remaining, the Saiyans decided to return back to Earth so they can continue their training with the brand new form they have acquired. With nothing left to do, they depart back. On the way home, they train up in the full gravity, trying to get access to the Super Saiyan form. Goku and Raditz were the ones that trained up the most, since they had to gain control and teach Vegeta and Bulma on how to reach it. Raditz was the first to unlock it on his own again and taught it to Goku.
The key is to focus on the first moment you've reached that spiked the transformation. Then use it to push beyond and dig deep within your power.
Goku tries it, but he gets a sudden drainage and collapses. Since Super Saiyan Blue isn't a power native to normal Saiyans, it causes a lot of drain if not done correctly, as it requires a lot of control. Goku tries again, eating up some food beforehand to regain stamina back, and tries accessing the form the same way he tried mustering his ki during his rage boost. Goku does succeed and it throws the ship off course due to its intensity, but regardless manages to spike into the form. For him, it was a lot of control to access and maintain the form. Bulma and Vegeta are next, but they don't seem to have what it takes to access the form. Every time they get close, they drop out of it. Vegeta is livid and mad that those two low classes got the form and he didn't. Same thing goes for Bulma. No matter how hard she tries, she cannot get a hold of the form due to the fact she didn't experience any trauma in the fight. Except her death. She did access the form for a brief moment, but that's about all she could muster up. Once they land, they immediately go back to their families. Raditz, Bulma, and Goku all go back to Gohan and the crew. It was quite an emotional reunion, but Vegeta just stood there and scoffed off at them. Launch saw Vegeta and came up to him, seeing him all alone. They share some small talk for a bit, but Launch sneezes and turns into her own Super Saiyan. Vegeta is thrown off by the sudden change and wonders if she's too a Saiyan. The Chad Launch just coughs off and tells him off, but Vegeta just smiles and bonks her on the head, commenting that she can't possibly do anything to him. Vegeta leaves to talk to Goku, leaving Launch beat red behind his back. Krillin goes to console and tease her for the chain of events that just happened. After about a year or so, quite a good bit has changed. Vegeta and Launch caught feelings for each other. Actually, both versions of Launch caught some feelings towards Vegeta and are expecting to get married sometime this year, when Vegeta finishes his training and starts not to bitch about his inability to turn into a Super Saiyan. Bulma, on the other hand, has gained control access to Super Saiyan, as well as the rest of the gang, and they're all training together. Vegeta decided to go venture out into space to find his reason to transform into a Super Saiyan. However, him and all the rest of the Z fighters sense a massive power spike coming near Earth. Vegeta thinks he knows exactly who it is and goes to tell the tale to the Saiyans.
Cold is here.
Are you sure?
Who's cold? Are you sick or something?
Frieza's dead.
Bulma and Goku were shocked that Frieza had a father, so they decide to go where King Cold was going to land. Having said that, they get to the landing site of the Cold Force ship and hide behind the rocks, observing the situation while masking their ki as to not get noticed. King Cold descends and searches with his counter.
I want to beat him up.
Me too, but we don't know his strength yet.
Extremely strong. Frieza's second form was nothing compared to King Cold's second form. If King Cold went to his final form like we've seen Frieza do, then we're done for. Not even all four of us are gonna be able to take him down.
Out of nowhere, down comes a weird stranger with bluish teal hair as he looks up to Cold.
Let's see. You came here to take down the Saiyans that brought your son to death.
Precisely. And who are you, peasant?
My name's no concern to you, because I'm gonna end you here and now.
Oh. And what can you do with a power level of only 5,000?
This.
The strange boy starts powering up, doubling his strength consistently until he transformed into a Super Saiyan. Vegeta is now even more pissed, seeing a fourth Super Saiyan transform. The stranger then gets his sword out and gets in a stance, as King Cold commands his goons to attack the boy. The kid simply swipes them away with his sword, leaving plenty of decapitated heads on the ground for Cold to see.
Well done. I'm surprised. Let us commence a real fight.
King Cold then begins rushing the boy, but he just dodges the attacks. King Cold is quite impressed, but growing infuriated by each passing minute. By the time the kid attacks, Cold is already getting tired out. So when the stranger swings the sword and slashes King Cold's chest, Cold is already on his knees. The kid comes up to Cold.
I see you're quite a skilled fighter. I would love to have you in my force. You could rule the planets and conquer galaxies with me. What do you say?
Sorry, but I'm not interested in your squabble. Let's prepare your departure, shall we?
Just as the stranger was about to shoot a ki blast, Vegeta comes up from behind the rock and starts bullying King Cold out of sheer rage. Goku, Raditz, and Bulma too get out from hiding and talk to the strange young man.
Sorry for an intrusion. I thought you guys aren't around, so I stepped in.
Don't worry, that's quite alright.
Who are you?
I can't tell you that, but I can tell you enough so you can prepare for the future.
What do you mean?
In 3 years, on May 10th, a powerful android duo will emerge.
Vegeta finished off King Cold and drops in on the conversation.
They're more powerful than any of us could have ever prepared for, and are on the loose as we speak.
How can you possibly know that?
I'm from the future. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, I suggest you go and train up, because those androids are a real deal.
It's certainly possible. Alright, anything else?
Not that I'm aware of. Oh yeah, here. This is medicine for a new virus that attacks the heart. The one that contracted it in my time was Goku. He died due to it.
I know I can't help when I'm dead, but what about Vegeta and Bulma?
All dead. All killed by the androids. I got to go. I'll catch you later.
After the boy left, there was nothing much else to do but to trust the time traveler's word and train up for the androids. So they do so. The all-new Goku is their best chance at victory, since his Super Saiyan transformation is way more superior to any of their forms. They decide to spend their time in a gravity chamber, which was supplied by Dr. Briefs to help Goku and his wife train up. They are all training and Goku is trying to perfect the transformation. However, Vegeta has ascended as he finally reached his Super Saiyan after giving up being better than Raditz and Bulma and giving up ever going toe-to-toe against Goku's Super Saiyan Blue. So now, Vegeta is part of the Super Saiyan squad. 1 year after the King Cold incident, Vegeta and Launch finally got married and settled in the city. This works out quite to their advantage, because regular Launch can easily get all her stuff needed to keep her bottomless pit of a husband fed, and blonde Launch can rob banks and acquire money much more easily, but needing to be sneaky about it. The Saiyans trained up quite a lot during the next 2 years. After a full 3 years, the updates are as following. Vegeta and Launch have gotten a baby Trunks, having a mix of blue and blonde hair that Launch circles through by sneezing. But on May 10th, they're ready and everyone gathered in the outskirts of the city. The Saiyans are having a picnic, sponsored by Launch for comedic purposes, but it gets abrupted by a huge explosion in the city. Krillin, Yamcha and Bulma are the first to go into the city, followed by the rest. Goku feels weird in his chest, but brushes it off and waits alongside Bulma. They manage to find androids 19 and 20 and tell them to go in the outskirts to fight. The androids agree to the terms and depart. During a flight to the outskirts, Vegeta notices Goku being slightly out of breath and asks him if he's good. Goku just says he is and continues flying. Upon arriving, Goku, being confident in his abilities to take them both, powers up to full power and takes on 19 first. It's quite an edge-to-edge fight as Goku isn't using a power-up. He's getting worn out, so Goku transforms into Super Saiyan Blue. Suddenly, Goku falls down and grabs his chest in pain and falls out of his Super Saiyan Blue. He succumbs to the heart virus and collapses, being taken away by Krillin. Vegeta then takes on 19 in his Super Saiyan and succeeds, but Android 20 is trying to escape, so Bulma chases after him and kills him off as well. To get things even weirder, the boy arrives and explains they killed off the wrong androids, so now they gotta find the lab. Bulma mentions how it's located in a specific mountain and Vegeta rushes there, making the boy scream for his father to wait and ultimately revealing he's Trunks, but from the future. However, after a bit of searching, Krillin notifies everyone how he found Jiro's lab while returning back, and the Z fighters are all aware already. During all the babble, the door opened to reveal the new androids. Trunks warns them that they're extremely strong, so they begin fighting them then and there, with Vegeta initiating the battle. He fails to beat the androids, so Raditz and Bulma combine their forces to take them down, but they too are weak. So, with nothing else to do, the rest of the Z fighters watch in horror as the androids leave the mountain in pursuit. They all thought it was Goku, since Trunks mentioned he needs to stay alive for that, but it wasn't the case. They searched far and wide, but nothing. They go as far as find Goku to ask him, but he's asleep due to the heart virus, while Roshi and Goku's parents are just shitting themselves, ready for battle one way or the other. Krillin goes to investigate the mountain and finds an embryo of some kind in the lab. Trunks is scared shitless, gets mad and blasts it to hell. Trunks mentions how that is the embryo of Cell, an android which won't exist here anymore. But things are about to turn for the worse. As Goku is healing, the androids are trashing the place where the old King Piccolo used to reside at. At that moment, a weird bug monster approaches them and fights them, absorbing them once defeated. The monster then evolves and then seeks for the Z Fighters. Over at the mountain, everyone sensed that enormous power and went to check it out, hoping to be Goku. But stupidity got the better of them and they were rushing straight towards Cell. Gohan remembered that they can't sense Goku, so they kept at a distance as suggested by Tien. The Menace and Z Fighters meet halfway.
Hello, Earthlings, and Saiyans alike. I don't see Piccolo around. How come?
Piccolo? We sealed him away years ago. He's no longer a threat. And who are you?
His name is Cell. He seeks to kill humanity.
I have no interest in defeating any Earthlings. I'm here by the commands of Dr. Jerome to destroy Piccolo. Thinking you defeated him is okay, but I can still sense him.
Don't fall for his tricks. He's probably bluffing his way into—
It's alright, he's the good guy!
Goku healed up and decided to crash into the confrontation. They take some time believing that Cell is a good guy, and Trunks is baffled that Goku isn't his target, but Piccolo. Cell then goes into detail how Piccolo destroyed the Red Ribbon Army, and nothing else was heard from him since. So Gero didn't know he has been defeated, considering there were many fights during the past years. So everyone thought people got more powerful to fight him. Trunks is absolutely livid that he got the bad Cell and the past timeline didn't. Apparently Cell is from a timeline literally the same as this one, just when Goku actually died. Supposedly he's the main protagonist there after the death of everyone by Piccolo, since Kami and the entire planet Namek were bullied into doing their forbidden fusion. So with nothing else to do, they agreed to become allies with Cell. However, Cell is tireless about actually killing off Piccolo, so he asks for the location of the urn he was sealed in. They told him it's on the lookout, and so Cell and the rest went to the lookout and released Piccolo. Cell was left with Piccolo, and so Cell went and killed off Piccolo for good. However, everyone forgot that killing Piccolo kills Kami too, but it was too late for that. However, they were surprised to see that Kami lives and is all well. Cell says it wasn't much of a concern since he has the DNA of everyone on the lookout, everyone they fought in the past, and that also includes Piccolo. So, that done, they decide to have a treaty with Cell. However, Cell didn't have a need for the absorbed androids anymore, so he wanted to use the Dragon Balls to revert back to his original form, but without losing his current body. Cell tells Goku and the boys to go gather the Dragon Balls and he will separate the androids. Since they weren't a threat, it wasn't a risk. The Z Fighters do that, and so Cell defuses both Android 17 and 18. Cell is now a part of the Z Fighters and looking forward to improving himself. No one died, and also they got a new crew member. For an even bigger surprise, Bulma is pregnant again. Trunks takes Goku along to defeat his version of Cell in the future, who plans to kill him, and Goku deals with him easily with Super Saiyan Blue. Meanwhile, meeting the future Bulma, who is still a human, and she's happy to see past Goku, before Goku returns back. With Cell now with the Z Fighters, he decides to crash in the hills. Goten was born after about a month after the android scandal, and Trunks is now a 1-year-old. Nothing interesting happens except the Z Fighters getting accustomed to Cell and the androids. Krillin decides to nail the female one, which is Android 18, and the marriage happens off screen like in the original. 7 years later, everything is going well and a lot of progress has happened. Due to Cell having Goku's cells, Goku was able to teach Cell his Super Saiyan Blue, and now Cell is on par with Goku. A bit later, Cell learned full control over it and Goku caught on and learned so too, which allowed him to come up with a better teaching scheme, teaching the rest of the Saiyans Super Saiyan Blue. So now, Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, Bulma, and Cell all have Super Saiyan Blue. Gohan learned Super Saiyan, and due to the influence of the Saiyan DNA, he's no nerd and he's also training. He single-handedly reached Super Saiyan 2 in the meantime and plans on pushing further, even going as far as getting Super Saiyan Blue in his arsenal if it must be. Trunks and Goten are the same, however, Trunks has a bigger potential due to being a Saiyan-human hybrid. Either way, they're also both at Super Saiyan 2 since Goten trained with his brother a lot. Krillin and 18 got a baby Marin and are also living quite peacefully, considering they have god tier Saiyans on the planet to keep them safe. The next Tenkaichi Budokai is right around the corner and the Saiyans decide to join in on shits and giggles. Goku, Vegeta, Raditz and Bulma, all of the Saiyans and Z Fighters all decide to join in on the fun, taking the spots of all that decided to participate, which were actual humans. In the preliminaries, there was nothing interesting but two weird looking people. No one but those two weirdos managed to pass through the punching machine, making Gohan and Raditz be out and watching from the bleachers. The children's division went just like in the original, with Trunks winning and making his father proud. The real deal starts right away, and the first two to start were Goku and Vegeta. Wanting to test his powers, Vegeta was pumped to fight Goku again. Goku was really excited to have an all-out battle with him. The fight begins, and they immediately go Super Saiyan Blue and skip all the warm-ups, connecting elbow rushes as a battle initiation. They are on par with each other as they all had Goku and Cell to train with. Vegeta is grabbing an edge in combat and is overthrowing Goku, but Goku has a secret sauce in his soup, the Kaioken. Goku begins powering up, harnessing as much power as he could before entering a regular Kaioken. Now having his power boosted twice, he rushes in on Vegeta and starts surpassing it. That makes Vegeta grin, as he also has a nice ace up his sleeve. He starts harnessing power of his own, which makes it skyrocket. His aura turns from a nice and rounded into a spiky blue aura. Vegeta outcomes from his own dust and resumes the battle, evening the playing field between the two of them once again. At the same time, the two weirdos are in absolute awe and are confused. Meanwhile, Cell, having Kami cells, is able to sense the god ki they're both emitting.
You two are deities of some kind, aren't you? How could you know? I can sense your ki. It's calm and unsensible by others, but me and Goku there.
I am the Supreme Kai of this universe.
Supreme Kai!
Cell is absolutely thrown back by that confession, wondering what a deity of such high status is doing on this rock of dirt and water.
There is something of greater concern on this planet. Majin Buu is sealed on this planet, and if we don't take care of him, he will be released, and this whole planet will go to hell. I'm glad that two things are good in this case. You all have God Ki, so no one can release power for Buu, and second, one of you can take at least an army of those Buus. I'm glad I've encountered you Saiyans here.
Cell calls up Raditz to go deal with that Buu creature with the Supreme Kai, and so the two head away. Back to Goku and Vegeta, the battle got heated. However, Goku succumbed to the hasted energy loss of Kaioken because he didn't have much time to perfect it, and so Vegeta won that round. Next up were Cell and Supreme Kai. But the Supreme Kai was forfeited out since he was missing, so Bulma and Kibito came in the ring and then began the fight. Meanwhile, Shin and Raditz managed to trace Babidi through the Bora. Raditz immediately started powering up on the request of Shin to get the two out, so Raditz did so. He also put Shin in a protective barrier just in case. This piqued Babidi's attention and he started absorbing all the energy he could. This resulted in Buu immediately being released and getting out in the open. Raditz got straight to work with a Super Saiyan. On the battlegrounds of the tournament, Bulma completely outmatched Kibito and won with just her base, making her the clear winner. They moved on to the finals, Vegeta versus Bulma. Vegeta was already proven to be stronger and Bulma knew it, but she wasn't there to quit as she wanted to use her own trick she trained up for. Bulma and Vegeta started the battle, and it was obvious who had a greater advantage in combat in regular Super Saiyan Blue forms. Back to Raditz, he was quite enjoying a fight with Buu, but he knew he had to end it quickly. Knowing that he needs to destroy every speck of Boo's body, he knew he had to end the battle fast. So, he used Super Saiyan Blue and said a few kind words to Bobbity and Boo.
Would you like to know why your helpers haven't arrived with the energy yet? It's because of this form. This is the power of a god. Something you cannot sense or take for your own. Now, I'm going to use it to destroy you and Boo, as well as all your helpers. Now be gone.
Raditz then began preparing a blast, but not just any blast, rather a Kamehameha, out of respect towards his brother. He fired it at Boo, and Boo had no chance against such a powerful opponent, as Boo got vaporized out of existence. With Boo dealt with, they deal with Bobbity and his goons real quick and return to the tournament. At the tournament, the finals between Vegeta and Bulma are quite heated. Vegeta is powering up, as well as Bulma, and Shin is there to witness true heights of the Saiyans. Vegeta used his full power Super Saiyan Blue, and Bulma managed to transform to Super Saiyan Blue 2. With the two going head to head again, it's clear both Vegeta and Bulma are on par with each other, each with their own unique abilities, just one outmatching the other in their unpowered up states. At this point, it's the matter of who lasts the longest. So, the two battled their souls out until Vegeta started getting more and more tired out, while Bulma quickly recovered from her stamina drops. Vegeta took a lot longer, and so Bulma used that to her advantage and started beating up Vegeta. Vegeta saw that he's being cornered, so out of sheer desperation, he started powering up, expecting nothing. However, he accessed a power higher than everyone else's, which is Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. With one hard gut kick, Bulma dropped out of her Super Saiyan Blue 2 and fell down on the ground, making Vegeta the winner and making his pride skyrocket. After the tournament, they all had a massive feast to attend to, and they all gobbled up pretty much anything they could catch with their eyes. Even Cell ate like a madman and ate plate after plate. After they ate up half of the earth, they went back to their training or normal lives. There is finally peace on Earth, and Launch gives birth to Celeron, a baby girl that Vegeta had pleasure naming. Everything is peaceful, but far in the galaxy, a destroyer named Beerus awakens and seeks for the Super Saiyan God. He asked Whis for more info, and Whis mentions how there are a handful of Saiyans and hybrids at that. Beerus is sure he ordered Frieza to destroy their kind, but Whis mentioned a Saiyan woman that converted herself from an Earthling to a Saiyan using Dragon Balls, and how she is the wife of a Saiyan who defeated Frieza. Beerus is astounded to hear that and asked for more info. Whis then lists all the Saiyans on Earth, as there is an abundance of Saiyans there. Beerus agrees to go there and tells Whis to pack up. He then goes to Earth. On Earth, Bulma is hosting her birthday, but it's not on the cruise ship, but in the outskirts of the city, so she can fight whoever and whenever. Goku is there and not training away like he is in canon, so he just spars with Vegeta, while Bulma spars with Raditz. On the way to Earth, Whis mentions how they all perfected the arts of Kaioken and how they were taught it from the North Kai. Beerus is interested in knowing the backstory of that, so he commands Whis to stop by Kaio's planet. Once there, King Kai is shitting himself, wondering what Beerus is doing on his home world. Beerus is quite friendly this time around and just asks the questions he wanted to ask. King Kai is still stressing, but tries to answer to the best of his ability. Beerus thanks him and continues on his merry way. King Kai then contacts the Saiyans, saying Beerus is coming down to them, asking for them. Vegeta has heard of the name, but isn't sure who it might be. Vegeta asks Goku to take a walk around the place. As they're walking around, they can feel a presence behind them.
Do you feel that?
Be on guard.
They know someone is talking them, so they stand back to back, both in their stances and watching. All of a sudden, they can't move and they're down on the ground, as Lord Beerus and Whis appear right before Vegeta, and now Vegeta remembers exactly who it is.
Where is the limit to his power?
He's got none. He's a destroyer.
Beerus unbinds them and they get up, all shaky. Just then, Bulma comes up and gets in her stance.
Who the fuck are you?
Well, I'm sure you already know, Saiyan woman. I just came here to check up on the Saiyans after a nice nap.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
They all go back. Vegeta and Raditz are completely shook because of the Destroyer's arrival, and they make him comfy, of course. Since there is no Boo and his shenanigans with the pudding, Beerus gets his pudding. Beerus starts having a bit of fun, dancing and shit, as well as eating Earth's cuisines. Yamcha though doesn't know that Beerus is more powerful than all of the Saiyans there, so he makes a mockery of himself. He drives Beerus to the point of snapping and elbowing him away. That means Raditz stances himself. Goku, Bulma and Vegeta are all watching on in fear as to what will go on next. Raditz finally got the balls to stand up to Beerus. Raditz turns to Vegeta, Vegeta turns to Goku, and all of a sudden, everyone goes after Beerus, and Beerus just one-taps every single person there, no matter the form. Vegeta is left, seeing Blonde Launch going at it with her ego. Vegeta is not having any of it, and tells Beerus to spare his wife. But Beerus doesn't care, and slaps Launch into Trunks' arms. Just then, the most ultimate line occurs in all of Dragon Ball, with a bit of a twist. The Pride incident occurs, and Vegeta powers up into a Super Saiyan Blue evolution, doubling his power 20-fold than before. Beerus now had plenty of fight left in him. Beerus knew Goku taught all of them God Ki somehow and used it to their advantage. Beerus was backed into a corner multiple times however, but it's when the tables really turned when Goku decided he will use his Kaioken on top. Bulma also tries doing it and she does last quite a bit, but she too drops because it's her first time trying to stack. Bulma then, even though she's worn out, gets into her Super Saiyan Blue 2 and continues the battle. Just as Vegeta gets pwned, Beerus readies the Destruction Blast. What convenience, the Kaioshin arrives and knows how to give Beerus a good challenge. They find out about the Potara fusion. Beerus is quite mad at Shin for trying to suggest that, but he is intrigued about the fight with a fused fighter. The two most logical choices are Goku and Vegeta, so Shin gives the Potara to them. Goku and Vegeta hate the idea, but they have no other choice. Otherwise, the Earth is gone. The two put their Potara on opposing ears and fuse into Vegeta. Now, he's ready to face Beerus. Beerus is excited and cannot wait either, so he starts the battle. Vegeta starts playing with Beerus to get to know his actual power, while Beerus is trying to dodge and block the attacks. Vegeta then gets accustomed to his initial power and steps up to 50% right then and there. Vegeta makes quick work of Beerus, but Beerus isn't done yet, powering up to 100% and attempting to knock Vegeta out. Vegeta can't dodge or block as fast, but he does manage to power up to 100% himself and taking the hit with almost no issue. Beerus then gets scared and tries to hit Vegeta, but just can't. Vegeta at this stage is thousands of times stronger than Goku from canon, and Beerus can't do anything against him. Beerus says,
How about we end this fight peacefully and move on with our day? You asked for a fight, Lord Beerus, not a sparring match. You're gonna either die or get knocked out right there.
Vegeta then starts laying Beerus some of his fighting techniques, basically copying his control of power. Not only does this give Vegeta better control of power, but also infuriates Beerus. Beerus can barely do anything. With the last straw, Beerus tries using as much power as possible, but Vegeta steps it up to Super Saiyan Blue 2 and powers up a final Kamehameha, an instant transmissions to Beerus, kicks his head and fires the wave right at Beerus, bringing Beerus unconscious. Vegeta unfuses just at the right time, and Goku is the one catching Beerus and landing down from the stratosphere onto the ground. Whis congratulates the two on the well-deserved win. Goku and Vegeta just thank Whis, asking him as well what exactly he is. Whis replies that he's Beerus' attendant and teacher. Goku asks if he could train with him, and so does Vegeta. Whis is hesitant to the answer, but says sure at the end. However, he regrets it when pretty much every Saiyan asks Whis to go and train with him. With nothing else to do but a goal to get stronger, the Saiyans have no other choice but to go train with Whis. Raditz and Bulma also join, despite their offspring saying otherwise. Gohan also leaves with Del, whom he's just met and who is simping for him, to train with his parents. With that little commotion, they get prepared to go. After a couple of days, Whis comes to pick up the Saiyans from Earth, and he mentions that Beerus is sleeping, so when he wakes up he might be mad. The Saiyans couldn't care less and ignore that warning. Could have been a bad call though. On Beerus' planet, everything goes pretty smooth. The training began and everyone is training up. Whis kept getting them to God Ki, so they just let Gohan learn from them while they work on ki control. Goku and Vegeta already got a taste of that from being fused by imitating Beerus, so Raditz and Bulma trained at it. But Goku and Vegeta too were locked up in Whis' staff to train that ability completely so they get the hang of it. Gohan eventually learned God Ki control and he had to go gradually. That means all of the Saiyans witnessed the original Super Saiyan God transformation and worked to attain it for something that doesn't really require that much ki control. In no time, Gohan learned ki control and joined the Blue Gang. While the Saiyans were being each other's punching bags, the remainder of the Frieza force has gathered up after devising the plan to revive Frieza using the Dragon Balls. They know of Namekian Dragon Balls and have heard of Earth's Dragon Balls, but they also came across some random Dragon Balls that belong to a Namekian that is friends of a Cerealian. They knew they're not very fond of Cerealians and that they used to have a lot of beef. So they settled on going to Earth and risk getting caught by the Saiyans that killed their supreme leader. With little to no option, they departed to Earth to find out some children already attained the Dragon Balls and were about to wish for their own desires. That of course is Pilaf and his gang, so they approached the trio and demanded the wish from the Dragon Balls. That went as planned and Frieza was revived in one piece. Goten and Celeron both caught onto it and went to scout out the situation, but by the time they arrived, Frieza and his helpers were long gone. In space, Frieza swore to revenge his force by training to defeat Goku and the gang. So for the next 3 months, he trained up like mad. On Beerus' world, the Saiyans aimed to perfect their forms to the best of their ability. Starting from the bottom, Gohan has been given an opportunity to have his potential unleashed by the old Kaioshin. Having attained the mystic form, he aimed to perfect it and use its fullest. Raditz aimed to breach over to the domain of Divine and use the power for his own, being absolutely astonished by the Kaioshin's energy back when fighting Boo. So, he was taught the pure form of God Ki by Whis, and he has gotten Super Saiyan Rose. He didn't like the color, but he enjoyed the small boost the form gave him. Bulma decided to follow in the path of attaining higher states of a regular Super Saiyan Blue and worked her way up from Super Saiyan Blue 2 to Super Saiyan Blue 3, thanks to ki control. That form, however, gave her a major ki dissipation as it would require a lot of training to keep it under control, since even while conserving ki, it managed to escape due to its high intensity. Vegeta started training with Beerus on and off for quite some time, accessing Super Saiyan Blue evolution at will and working on perfecting it fully. Goku at first wanted to fully master the usage of Kaioken on his forms, but he was given the task by Whis to use his body to work for him out of instinct. Goku was quite confused but decided to roll with it, and after a lot of trial and error, he got his first taste of autonomous Ultra Instinct. Whis was proud, and the Saiyans, including Whis, envied Goku for his success of attaining the power of the angels. Sadly, nothing went as planned, as Whis gets a call by Goku's mom, saying how Krillin mentioned that Frieza is on Earth as they speak. That terrified the Saiyans and intrigued Beerus. Goku screams out to his other son to go to Kami's lookout and power up as much as he could, while Whis contacted Shin. Shin just teleported to them, and he said he doesn't need to teleport to the energy source as he can teleport anywhere. Goku had that as a safety measure, as he said, but regardless, they all teleported to Earth. Bulma and Goku thank Shin and they rush to Frieza, who is rampaging. Frieza is intrigued with their power and takes them on.
So the Saiyans have finally arrived. Ready to die?
You can try all you want, but you will taste a different path each time.
First to go is Goku. They share a stare and they began fighting. Goku starts in base to gauge his power and Frieza is putting up a good fight. Frieza then reveals the fruits of his training, the golden form. Goku is surprised Frieza actually trained for once and turns Super Saiyan God.
Who would have thought? You have the worst version of Super Saiyan!
Let's see if you can keep it up, monkey.
They then start fighting even harder. Goku is getting overwhelmed as they ruin most of the field. Goku, however, knew of the small mistake Frieza made with the form he attained. As Frieza fought, he got weaker and weaker until finally, Goku just took a punch straight at his snout. Frieza is weirded out, but Goku shines some light.
See, the key to every form is to master. You rushed here to get vengeance for nothing.
Frieza then commands Sorbet to go for a surprise attack. He was positive that it will land, but Goku used what he learned and instinctively dodged the Stray Blast, Ki blasting the culprit out of existence. With Frieza getting exhausted and with no other option, he attempts to self-destruct. Goku sees that and attempts to gather Ki to end it in one attack, but the attack is too much to pierce through Frieza's final atonement. Goku has no other choice now. Goku falls out of his Super Saiyan Blue and focuses, while Frieza is laughing, thinking he has won. Goku starts glowing as he bursts a silver aura. Frieza is about to explode, but Goku rushes inside the blast with a speed that Frieza never expected. Goku lands a gut punch on Frieza and all that Ki went into the wind, as Frieza gasped for air with a hole in his gut. As Goku pulls his arm out of the gaping hole, he opens up his palm to reveal a Ki blast. As Goku fired it, the intensity disintegrated the rocks and all that were in the way. Frieza faded out and died from the attack, and Goku, knowing he can't sense Frieza no more, fades out of Ultra Instinct and falls down due to pain and wear the form did on him. As much as Vegeta wanted to take a crack at Frieza, he knew it was probably for the best, since they didn't know. But Frieza wasn't much at all, and went back to being his bitchy self. With the deities and the Saiyans all in one place, they were talking about the power-up Goku just displayed, and are wondering what it is. Goku simply replies how he mastered the art of moving without thinking, lending him to attain that power. Just then, Cell arrived saying he was preoccupied by training in the time chamber, hence why he was absent for the past few episodes. He eventually realizes his friends went to train with Whis, and he asks Whis if he could become his apprentice as well. Whis was very reluctant, having already a handful of punch-happy Saiyans on his repertoire, but seeing Cell having a massive potential and will to train, Whis decides to train him, so he can see whether he could be a good replacement for something he kept secret. While the Saiyans were all questioning Whis and his plans, two unknown people crashed near them. So each and every single one of them went into their full power and they have gone to investigate. Whis and Beerus smiled, sensing the energy that just arrived and went along. Cell was following at a distance, sensing this massive Ki that just landed. Once they got there, they saw two that looked much like Beerus and Whis. And those were obviously Champa and Vados, and they've come here to spit in Beerus' face. They were led to Capsule Corp, where they unveiled the famous eggs from their universe, which Beerus had to try. He spat them out when he saw it was nothing special, and he ordered Goku's parents to go and bring something actually tasty. Bulma suggested ramen straight up, and the two didn't have to worry about which meal to get. They get cooked ramen, and Champa gobbles it all down. Champa then decides he will take Earth from Beerus' hands in a friendly tournament. The Saiyans had absolutely no problem with it, and with Goku on his team, they are sure to win. So without hesitation, Beerus says yes. With the whole conversation done and the deal prepared, the two deities from Universe 6 part their way and the Saiyans decide to choose their strongest for the tournament. Cell scraps that and decides they can train on Beerus' world to master any ability they can first before getting to the tournament. Vegeta thinks for a moment and then agrees with Cell. Before long, the Saiyans ask Whis to train him again to get ready for the tournament. Whis says sure, and they'll go back to Beerus' planet. Over there, things are looking pretty sweet. Whis is mostly training Cell as he has a plan for him, while the rest of the Saiyans hone their abilities to the best until it's time to go. In the few days they had, Cell has progressed quite a lot and has gotten the power of Ultra Instinct on the second day of this training. As a small spot where Goku commenced, both are supposed to fight on Whis' command until one of them faints. With it, the two begin in their autonomous Ultra Instinct. They struggle with their forms until the two step it up and learn along the way. Both are now accustomed to throwing punches at each other. Although those punches were weak, they still put up a great fight. Cell began adjusting much sooner, but he wasn't there for the mastery just yet. As he was pushing Goku further down from the planet, Goku unleashed a massive energy spike and started throwing back stronger and stronger offenses until he started glowing white. But at that very moment, he dropped out of it and he was falling to his impending doom until Cell caught him and brought him back up. Whis was completely flabbergasted by Goku's quick adjustment and congratulated him on his success. One day later, Beerus was training Vegeta the entire time till the tournament came up and has taught him something that can be set on par with Ultra Instinct, which was the Ultra Ego form. Everyone was amazed at Vegeta's new form. The rest trained up their forms to the best of their ability before the tournament, so there isn't much going on. And so, the tournament picks were Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, Cell, and Gohan, as Gohan requested to be there instead of his uncle. The day of the tournament has come up and everyone is on their way to pick up the audience on Earth. So every single friend of theirs comes along with their Saiyan wives. Gohan was quite happy to see Videl after so long, but she was still angry he left her until he straight up kissed her and everyone caught their attention. Videl forgave him and was happy he's not a dumbass. Once they arrived on the tournament grounds, they see that the opponents are quite familiar, especially Frost, who is a spitting image of Frieza. The Saiyans thought he was the good version of Frieza, but this will still be proven to be very wrong. After the unnecessary written exam, they head to the actual tournament. Over there, everything goes as usual with Goku being first in the ring. He defeats Botamo and Vegeta very easily and almost gets rid of Frost just as easily, until he gets dizzy and faints. Goku is out and Bulma is in. Sparing no suspense, she immediately goes Super Saiyan Blue 2 and starts trashing Frost around, unknowing of his ability with the needle, getting Frost out of the tournament. Meaning, none of the disqualification shit around Frost happens. Next up was Kaba, and she was about to throw him out of the ring as well, but when she saw her fellow Saiyan had no idea what a Super Saiyan is and wanted her to teach him, she had to resort to violence, in a thoughtful manner. It wasn't nearly as brutal as Vegeta in canon, but it took a while because of that. After that, Kaba turned Super Saiyan and she fought him in a regular Super Saiyan as well, wanting to have a good thrill of the fight from a Universe 6 Saiyan. Eventually, Kaba lost his stamina due to being a first-time Super Saiyan and he fainted, but Bulma didn't let him, taunting him to get up and prove he's a Saiyan. Kaba tried his best to land a punch on Bulma, but it really wasn't enough. That was expected, so Bulma told him to remember everything that happened today, giving him a nice gut punch in her Super Saiyan 2, knocking Kaba out. One more opponent remaining, and that was Hit. He was quite nervous entering the ring, seeing the power of both Goku and Bulma, but he didn't expect much to come out of it. Hit tried using his full time skip on Bulma, which did work, and Bulma was out of the tournament prematurely. Gohan then decided to drop in, wanting to test something. He gets in and sees Hit standing there. Gohan, having his Saiyan blood boiling, skips the niceties and powers up to Super Saiyan Blue to the fullest. Hit was constantly berated to knock Gohan out by Champa, but he just stood there and watched. Gohan then screamed even higher, transforming into his Mystic Blue for the first time, having an absolutely awesome aura that comes along with it. Hit then tried using his time skip, but it failed as Gohan broke out of it with his intense speed and strength. With one punch that he dealt to Hit, Hit was brought to his knees and Gohan had the opportunity to go out of his stacked form, and he carried Hit in his arms to his universe's bleachers once the referee counted Gohan 1. All while Goku and Bulma were very proud of their son. After the whole tournament of destroyers, Zeno arrived with his bodyguards and, unlike canon, everyone noticed him all at once. the deities went to kneel down while the Saiyans just landed behind the gods. Zeno was quite mad. He came at the very end of the tournament and asked whether they wanted to tell him or not. Beerus and Champa were quite scared to answer and didn't know how to answer, so Whis and Vados went and told Zeno what went down. Zeno let them go and took notice at the fighters at the back. He saw that they were quite laid back over the whole situation, but Goku stood up and decided to shake hands with Zeno. While every single person there was looking him under the eyes with anger, Zeno was quite fond of Goku being so obvious to approach him. Zeno and Goku decided that they're friends then and there, and Beerus was surprised at that fact. Once Zeno left, Vegeta and Cell both told Goku how he's dumb as a rock, but Goku brushed it off. Goku's mother even slapped Goku on his head and started going off at him. Whis managed to calm the situation down and they all went home. Once home, they proceeded with their normal lives. After some time, the Saiyans went back on Earth since they wanted to be at home with their families. Progress was in motion as Gohan finally married Videl. He was quite stubborn being a full-blooded Saiyan, but they both made it work. Goku, Vegeta and Cell all decided to train up together since they had nothing better to do. But when Bulma barged in, they had to part ways to go and hang out with their loved ones. Cell, however, was the only one without a significant other, so he was left out, pretty much a black sheep. He decided to fully absorb a male and a female on the street to create a Cell Jr. Of course, he released them right afterwards. He introduced his offspring to the gang, but Bulma knew how he did it and called him out for it. Cell was quite flustered, but the gang let it slide when they heard his story of loneliness and how he cannot reproduce like they can. However, nothing can always last forever, and neither can peace in the Dragon Ball world, because as the gang was chilling on a balcony, a very loud crash was heard from the outside, accompanied by a large flash, and they went to investigate. Once they get to the crash site, they recognize it's a time machine, and they go into an assumption that it's future Trunks. Lo and behold, they're right, as Trunks resides in there completely battered. They take him out and lay him down on the table, waiting on him to come back to his senses. Goku was told to get some sensu, but Raditz went to get the medicine. Once Raditz brought the sensu, Trunks ate up and came back to consciousness. Seeing Goku, he went ballistic and went for a punch. Goku did block, but it wasn't up until Launch kicked him in the head, calling him an idiot. Trunks came back to his senses at long last and saw that it's the actual Goku. He calmed down and Trunks told the whole story to the Z Fighters, which is about a foe that looks exactly like Goku and is almost the same key as Goku, but he's evil and wishes to purge humanity and mortals for his Zero Mortal plan, calling him Goku Black. Beerus and Whis weren't particularly happy a mortal time traveled and told Trunks so, but Bulma came in clutch with pizza and made it two deities' day. As they were talking about the future timeline, a rip in the time vortex appeared, and so did Goku Black. Goku Black realized he was pulled through time, but what he found more interesting is the fact that he's in the past, seeing Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, and most weirdly, a bug man, which is Cell. Cell smiled as he went up to confront Goku Black and initiated short talk with him.
I didn't see you before. You are quite an interesting living being.
Indeed. And what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be in the future?
Isn't Trunks supposed to be in the future as well?
Good point. But you didn't answer my question.
I'm just here to get rid of the nuisance.
What coincidence. So am I.
Cell then closes his eyes, revealing his Ultra Instinct and getting into a stance.
Interesting. It looks like you're more than just Stalk, Bugman.
Cell had none of it, and as Goku Black shot his first offense, Cell simply dodges it and points at it, causing it to explode. Black then went for the assault after powering up, and Cell didn't really do much effort, letting his Ultra Instinct take over. As Black attacked, Cell came up from behind and kicked him in the stomach with his toes for pinpoint damage. That damaged Black quite a lot, and he dropped his power-up, falling onto the patch of dirt on the ground. Cell landed right next to him while Goku Black struggled to get up. As Black attacked, Cell dodged and shanked him with his hand. landing with his fingers for yet another sharp pinpoint in the liver, making Goku Black fall down fully and unable to move. Just as Cell was about to go for yet another pinpoint attack, Black started retracting back due to the vortex reacting to the change in time. This time, Goku Black didn't resist as he wanted to go back to heal up. But just as he was closing in on the vortex, a force field didn't let him through. Looking down, Black saw Cell having pure white eyes and white skin. Black couldn't let that happen as he was losing ki constantly due to the pull. But Cell's aura prevented Black from crossing back into the future. Cell just let Goku Black die that way.
Trunks, my attacks are the only ones that are affecting Black. Go back in time through a rift, and don't forget the time machine. We'll deal with Black.
Trunks did so, passing by Goku Black and passing through the rift, closing it behind himself. Goku Black was forced to watch his only way home closed before him, and he tried his best to fight through. But his injuries got the better of him and he was unable to get even close to the rift, as the rift completely disappeared. Cell stopped using his Master Ultra Instinct drip and he let Goku Black fall down. In grueling pain, Cell went for the final kill, which was the Hakai. Whis' secret finally got into the open and Cell was the next God of Destruction. That did two things. It destroyed the time ring of the future timeline, meaning the actions done by Black were reversed, which also means no future Zamasu. That also destroyed all chances of Zamasu ever becoming a confused Kaioshin in training, so nothing ever goes wrong from this point on. After the fight, Cell was congratulated on his victory. However, Zeno called Whis at that exact time, saying how he would like to see Goku. That made everyone scared, but Whis decided to let it happen. That also makes Goku play with Zeno in this scenario, as there is no second battle with Black and the two had a lot of fun with each other, as Daishinkan took quite an interest in the Saiyan. In the coming days, Zeno invited Goku to play a lot more often than usual. Goku wasn't the usual self for some play sessions and Zeno knew what it was. Goku wanted to train up to get stronger. Goku indeed confirmed that was the case and he just didn't feel like playing, apologizing to Zeno. Zeno called up Daishinkan and asked him if he could train Goku when they're finished their playtime. As much as Goku fought against it, saying how that's too much of a privilege even to him, Daishinkan can't say no to Zeno and he decided to train Goku in their spare time. Meanwhile, on Beerus' planet, the Saiyans are wondering why Goku hasn't come back recently and are questioning Zeno's true intentions. Whis says Zeno can't be rejected that easily, because if he wants something to happen, he will get it or the person in question will get destroyed. Vegeta is mad at that fact, since he doesn't have an equal sparring partner and will have to deal with weaker Cell. Whis is wondering whether Goku began training with Daishinkan in return for the service, starting to bang his head around it. So, the Saiyans began training in Whis' staff again to boost their ki control abilities. Goku started training on and off with Daishinkan every day. He even had his own corridors to sleep in and live while he's free. But since he unlocked Master Ultra Instinct, his training got a lot easier. Daishinkan began training him proper control of the form and taught him proper utility. He was also trained to go further beyond into the form. But on one of those days, Zeno was bitching about wanting to see a tournament for real this time, and Goku suggested a tournament with all the universes competing against each other. Zeno absolutely loved the idea and decided to roll with it, asking Daishinkan to begin preparations. Daishinkan complied and Goku continued to play with Zeno while Daishinkan did all the heavy lifting. In no time, the rules are set. Goku and Zeno were the first to know, and Goku was absolutely livid when he heard about the universes getting destroyed upon elimination. Zeno looked Goku under the eye and decided to tell him exactly why Daishinkan did that. Goku nervously smiled and agreed. With it, Daishinkan went to tell every god of the universe. Goku asked if he could get transported to Beerus' world and Daishinkan denied his request, but Zeno asked one of his guards to do so and they had to comply, taking Goku to Beerus' world. Over there, Goku greeted the gang and advised everyone that there is a tournament hosted by Zeno and that they need to go to the Supreme Kai's world to get all the info. Beerus is hesitant, but Goku went and advised him it's for the best, because it's Zeno we're talking about. Beerus was scared and so decided to ask Shin to teleport them all to their world, as Daishinkan is gonna visit. Shin arrives and gets them there in a split second. On Shin's world, they're all curious as to what's gonna happen, and before long, Daishinkan arrived with a scroll. Everyone bowed, even Goku, which was weird to see by Beerus. When they saw Goku bow, they knew something was very off. Daishinkan explained the rules carefully and everything was clear as day now. Goku apologized on his behalf, but he said he would go and enter the tournament on his own so he could repent for his mistakes. The Saiyans, although mad, put a smile on their face, saying they've been waiting for this day, although not in this kind of way. Goku takes a slight sigh of relief and decides to train up for the remainder of his stay in his universe. They return on Beerus' planet and decide to train up and become stronger. Goku has his own training, which is meditation. Vegeta is wondering why he is meditating, while all of them are training. But before long, Cell joined in on Goku meditating, and he realized Ultra Instinct requires control, so this will definitely benefit him. Gohan also joined in, then Bulma, and finally Vegeta swallowed his pride and decided to also join in on a meditation. As they were all meditating, Goku burst out into his mastered Ultra Instinct and stayed there without any aura flaring, just a slight glow. Vegeta saw that and went into his Ultra Ego to accomplish the same thing, but the nature of his form decided to try and hit him. Goku didn't even try to budge and the fist went right through him. Whis was in disbelief, and when Vegeta asked where he went, Whis couldn't reply, because he never saw him move either. Everyone there was astonished, even Whis failed to see Goku's movements, so they decided to put Goku to the test. Vegeta shot a Hakai Blast, which got absorbed and vaporized by Goku's skin aura. Cell tried using his own mastered Ultra Instinct, but Goku did the same as with Vegeta. The attacks phased right through. Everyone started attacking him to see where he will slip, but the opposite happened. All of a sudden, he kept his aura, but went back to base and continued to phase their attacks. All of a sudden, he stands up and freezes them all in place, as he opens his eyes and they are yellow, as his hair also yellows out and he pushes an extremely dense aura, knocking everyone away. Once Goku managed to catch everyone's attention, he mentions that what he just got is called Ameliorated Instinct, mentioning how it's a fine-tuned version of their form. That form also allows them to use all his past abilities of offense and defense in sync, faster than teleportation itself. Proving that, he points at their chest where he drew, line by line, their own heads. Vegeta looks at his face and the dot for his eye was still wet and in the process of drying. Whis was for the first time paralyzed and couldn't speak. Goku now says his intentions of wanting to enter the tournament all on his own. Whis decides to just let him do as he pleases, even though the Saiyans were mad that he just went leagues above them again by just playing with Zeno. Goku does let his Saiyan friends to fight, mainly because they're also Saiyan like himself, so they wouldn't like to miss the fun. After all that, there was supposed to be a Zeno Expo and Universe 7 was supposed to go, but they avoided it by just a very thin hair. So, Universe 6 replaced the 7th. In that meantime, Goku was still training his newfound power and honed in more and more, while the rest trained mastering their own powers. Vegeta got to master the Ultra Ego thanks to his meditation and he started aiming even higher. Cell still has his master Ultra Instinct and aims to perfect it like Goku did. Gohan, Raditz and Bulma are all aiming to perfect their own forms and try to at least evolve those forms so they can use them with as little strain as possible. Whis and Beerus both looked at their apprentices and saw that they all will make quite a good team of Universe 7. At that point, all they had to do is wait and prepare for the Tournament of Power. Amongst the 6 Saiyans, they have appointed Goten and Trunks and the androids, making the perfect lineup for the tournament. And the Saiyans couldn't really lie what the tournament is about, so they just told the truth. With everything set, they prepare their way to the Null Realm. They arrive at the Null Realm and the first thing they do is look around. The 2 android twins are quite hyped up for the tournament to start, even with their lives on the line. Cell is looking around to see many strong opponents and starts counting the people he wants to fight. That eventually turns into an argument between the Saiyans as to who will fight who. All that changes when Jiren and the crew arrives. Goku is looking at Jiren and Jiren is looking at Goku. They basically locked eyes. The rest of the Saiyans are still arguing. Daishinkan notices every universe has arrived and begins briefly explaining the rules once again before initiating the tournament. The tournament starts, and since they never had the plan to begin with, they just split up. Goku goes to Jiren and they share a small talk before initiating the fight. The androids work together to defeat their opponents, but Trunks and Goten come in clutch to finish the job, stealing their win. That turned into an interversal altercation, and it had to be stopped by Bulma. They then split up again and took on the entirety of Universe 4. Meanwhile, Goku fought Jiren and couldn't land a blow in that time span. So he's already in his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and trying to come up with a good strategy to win without unleashing Ultra Instinct. But that never worked and Goku was quite tired out. Vegeta and Raditz were busy fighting their own opponents, so Cell came in and started fighting Jiren. Skipping to Vegeta, he fought Toppo, and it wasn't up until Toppo unleashed his Destroyer state that Vegeta too displayed in his true power, which was Ultra Ego. Toppo tried his best, but Vegeta defused every single Hakai Toppo threw at him. Toppo knew he had no chance, but put his all-in-one final blast. Vegeta let the blast hit him due to the nature of his form, and despite being massively damaged and worn out, he threw Toppo out of the ring. Vegeta went back to base and, all bloodied, still wanted to defeat as many people as possible. So he went to Dispo to fight him. Back to Cell, he tried his best to use his Zenkai ability to grab an edge on Jiren, but Jiren just wasn't having it and threw Cell out of bounds like a pebble. Cell was then eliminated. Goku saw that, and even though worn, he tried using his ameliorated instinct, but he was too introduced to the bleachers as well. However, not by Jiren, but by Daishinkan himself.
Since you used the ability I taught you, you weren't allowed to use it in this tournament, so you were eliminated. I told you this, but you didn't listen.
Goku completely misunderstood what Daishinkan said back then and just left it to his fate. Universe 7 has now lost the two main anchors to their stupidity, and now it's up to the remaining Saiyans and two androids to fight to the end. Vegeta was heavily injured and targeted because of that, so Raditz, Bulma, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks all decided to join forces to defeat Jiren, while Vegeta was healing up. They knew Vegeta has the best chance they have at winning this thing. Android 17 and 18 went to protect Vegeta in the meantime, trying to do their best. However, they got way too overwhelmed and Vegeta was left with Colossal and Kale to fight them off both. Vegeta did the same as Goku did in canon and worked his way back up. Back to the Saiyans and Jiren, everyone is in their final forms. Raditz used his Super Saiyan Rose, Bulma used her Super Saiyan Blue 3, Gohan used his Mystic Super Saiyan Blue, Goten and Trunks used their Super Saiyan 3, and they all rushed at Jiren and tried to grab an edge. Jiren had to put more power into his attacks and he had to unleash more power. Back to Vegeta and the two female Saiyans, he eventually worked his way up to Ultra Ego once the two fused into Kefla, and Beerus got an idea from that. He decided to take Shin's Potara and give them to Vegeta and Raditz, hence the two being the most powerful. However, the two Saiyans are being Saiyans and not wanting to fuse, but the kids sure can use a boost. So Beerus, although reluctant, tosses the earrings to them and the two fuse into Trunk 10. Having that done and out of the way, the two scream to Vegeta to shoot out a fake moon so they can use their Ozaru. Vegeta does so without second thought, seeing the power of the two are emitting, and Trunk 10 transforms into Ozaru and goes ballistic for a while until they come back to their senses, transforming and reaching Super Saiyan 4 for the first time. The two are now adult and more sensible in this situation, creating a good plan to go and defeat Jiren with. So they start with the ghost technique and rushing in, then purposefully kicking a ghost into Jiren so they explode. Jiren wasn't fooled by their distraction, but he wasn't mindful of one thing that was happening underneath. As he used his ki pressure to get rid of the ghosts, the Saiyans also spammed their ki at Jiren, with the infinite ki androids jumping in as well. A circle has been cut out in the midst of the arena, and all Trunk 10 had to do is punch the part of the arena and crumble it so Jiren can free fall out. Trunk 10 does so and Jiren is falling, but Jiren manages to use those crumbs to get back up and eliminate Trunk 10. Trunk 10 is now eliminated, which means 2 birds have been done for with 1 stone. Whis defused the 2 and gave Potara back to the Kai. Vegeta saw it all involved and decided that enough is enough and to join the battle, dropping in uninvited. He used his Ultra Ego, but carefully this time, not letting the form get to his head. In a short time, his understanding of the form has increased and he soon started defending himself on instinct, as opposed to offending. Soon enough, he reached Mastered Ultra Ego and the Saiyans let him fight it out with Jiren. Although, Jiren is holding back and he powered up to his full strength so he can manage Vegeta. But Vegeta isn't letting go that easily. Vegeta has closed his eyes and started to focus on Jiren, entering a meditative-like state. Before long, his hair goes back to normal and he retains all his abilities. As Daishinkan is watching on in awe, Goku has also gotten up and, in shock, looks on Vegeta surpassing his limits once again. Not only did the destroyers raise up, but Kais and angels alike. Vegeta opens his eyes and he too has ameliorated past his boundaries, entering ameliorated instinct. Jiren now stood no chance, even when he tried breaking his own limits. Vegeta used every trick in the book Goku displayed to the Saiyans in the last episode and went to town owning Jiren. Jiren was brought to his knees, and this time Belmont couldn't even speak up to Jiren to try his best, as he was too preoccupied with the sheer shock of an ameliorated instinct Vegeta had displayed so far. That means Jiren has lost all his will to fight and Vegeta knocked him out of the tournament. The tournament ended with 6 members of Universe 7 remaining and all other universes got wiped. Daishinkan asked Vegeta the wish and he decided he'd like to fight Jiren and the Saiyan girls all over again, wishing for all the universes back. Daishinkan was pleased to hear that and the wish was made. During the peacetime, the Universe 6 Saiyans have visited Universe 7 on numerous occasions for sparring as such, since they saw that they needed to take inspiration from them. They trained with them on and off and it was barely choreographed. However, the remainder of the Frieza Force decided to revive Frieza yet again, but have him train for very longer this time. They somehow managed to get Frieza back through the Namekian Dragon Balls, and in the meantime, the 2 low-ranking soldiers got hands on Broly and Paragus. The events go the same as they did in the movie, with some tweaks. Those being that Frieza didn't come along, and so there was no one to kill Paragus. Goku was the one who used Ultra Instinct to defeat Broly and get him back to his senses, meaning that Lemmo and Chilai resided on Earth now, as opposed to Vampa. Broly and Paragus too joined Earth to live there. Skipping ahead to Moro's saga, Goku and Vegeta were appointed to go and bring Moro back into his prison. So, with no other option but to obey Beerus' words as highly suggested by Whis, they go with the Galactic Patrol. After getting introduced to the plan, they ditch it and decided to fight him, which didn't sit well with Jaco and Beerus. But since Jaco knew Goku is Bulma's husband, he knew that he probably has a better plan of his own. So with it, the 2 Saiyans go to Namek and initiate a fight with Moro. Goku and Vegeta held their own until 7-3 was unveiled and they had to split on their own separate ways. Goku fought Moro in his Mastered Ultra Instinct and Vegeta fought 7-3 in his Mastered Ultra Ego. Goku had some issues getting a hold of Moro since he didn't let Goku get near him for any punches while he was stealing all of the planet's energy for himself. Meanwhile, Vegeta also had issues with 7-3 as all he did was copy the abilities Vegeta displayed, meaning that Ultra Ego and Mastered Ultra Ego were no longer an option for Vegeta, as 7-3 stole the usage of abilities from him. Vegeta had no other choice but to go into his ameliorated instinct and use it carefully so that 7-3 won't be able to steal it. Vegeta used the dodging aspect of his form and avoided any and all contact between him and 7-3. However, a punch connected and 7-3 is quite happy he will be able to copy that ability. The second he tries though, it doesn't want to work and Vegeta sees that. 7-3 is trying his best to get into the form and defeat Vegeta with it and then take control of the cosmos so he can fuse with Moro and conquer the universe. Vegeta sees that 7-3 is right on the edge of transforming, but Daishinkan gets through to Vegeta. Daishinkan tells Vegeta that he is blocking 7-3 from transforming into a ameliorated instinct and that he is free to kill him whenever. Vegeta smirks, thanks Daishinkan and taunts 7-3 for not being able to go into the form, explaining that he needs permission from the Grand Priest in order to use it. Vegeta then goes for the final attack, dealing a lot of damage to 7-3 first before blasting him into nothingness. In the meantime, Goku was tired of Moro being a bitch and just straight up went into his own ameliorated instinct and decided to land 7 punches in 5 milliseconds on Moro, making Moro spit out a lot of blood and fall down, making his energy stealing extremely slow, inconsistent, and predictable. Goku went ahead and told Moro he will need to be kept imprisoned or die trying. Moro tried one more attack, and that is absorbing all he could gather at once for an edge in a fight. But Goku dodged every blast to extreme efficiency. Goku knew that Moro isn't the brightest bulb, so he caught his fist. Moro started absorbing his power right away, since he couldn't do it prior. But Goku kicked him in the ribs and ripping his arm off, asking if he'd like to go to prison again. Moro had to comply, and Beerus was happy. Beerus found out about ameliorated instinct and asked Goku if he learned it from his father Daishinkan. But Goku was way too focused on the fact Beerus basically confessed he's an angel. After all went well, 7-3 was killed and Moro was imprisoned yet again with one arm less. During the pause in between, Paragus has passed away due to the old age, and no one really knew Paragus as he was really dense to talk to, so only his son Broly grieved. Whis also decided to train him to control his anger, and Goku was the only one to agree with Whis, while all the rest of the Saiyans were bitching about it. Granola Saga came along, and after the wish from his dragon, he went for Frieza, trying to befriend him in a short time before killing him in cold blood. He then went for the Saiyans. Goku and Vegeta were on Earth when Granola came up to them and wanted to talk it out first, but Granola wasn't that cooperative, despite him trying to talk it out. Vegeta had to fight Granola, and no matter what he did, he couldn't lay a finger on Granola. It was only up until Vegeta got a hold of his ameliorated instinct that he had a fair fight. Goku wondered how can someone with so little potential be the greatest fighter ever, but he knew that Jiren isn't anything special either, and he was quite powerful. Eventually, Raditz and Bulma dropped in, and when Raditz used his Rosé form, Heaters went and joined in, seeing that Raditz had the power of deities, without realizing ameliorated instinct was even higher, ranking among the angels' powers. They decided to ditch Granola and leave him for the dead, but Granola actually joined in with the Saiyans, as the Heaters were devising a plan to destroy what they assumed was a Saiyan god, thinking it's Raditz after seeing Frieza isn't doing anything. Granola understood that Frieza was the one behind it all and that the Saiyans were forced to be his pets. He still didn't forgive the Saiyans for their actions, but since they were forced, he's glad he disobeyed the Heaters and killed Frieza. Goku and Vegeta were surprised when they heard Frieza was alive. Goku, Vegeta, and Granola all went to the Heaters' base and started an onslaught, destroying the Heaters. After quite some time, Granola has seeded in well with the Saiyans on Earth and decided to train with them, despite his morals. All of a sudden, a vortex opens up for a split second and an unknown person flies out of it, destroying a bit of Capsule Corp.
Ugh! God damn, bro punched me all the way home. Or maybe not. Who the fuck are you guys?
My name is Goku! Who are you and what are you doing here?
Well, sorry for the sudden intrusion. I was just sparring with my bro. Either way, yeah.
You look awfully similar to myself.
Yeah, I'm fully aware. While I'm here, do you got any powerful forms? I guess I don't have to destroy a boss for sending my ass here. I wanted to ask you if you'd like to join a tournament of Vegetas. You already have a really cool form, and it's really powerful, so might as well.
Well, what?
It's basically like a tournament of power, but only Vegetas from different timelines compete. You are probably one of the strongest Vegetas I've ever encountered so far. How tides have turned.
Sure, I guess. But when's that tournament?
When I reach 10,000 subscribers.
10,000 fucking what?
Nothing. I'll come for you once time comes.
With that, the long ass series is over, and I can finally make Vegeta content once more. Make sure you subscribe so the Tournament of Vegetas can commence. I know all of you have been asking for it, so let's make those subs count. And with that, we're done with this what if. Thank you for watching. If you think you can complete my ARG, then click dislike. But if you liked the video, hit the like button. Please, feel free to check out the sparring partners on my channel page and, give them some love. If you'd like me to cover your idea in the near future, comment down below. And as always, peace out.